Page, flanked by producer engineer extraordinaire the Charles Carter. CC is hanging out in Houston, Texas, pushing all the buttons. Our good friend Sam Yarnell, who began his tenure with the show last night, is also hanging out with us too. We've got all sorts of things to talk about over the next 3 hours on this program. Matt Verderam will join us in the first hour. He's our 2-for-1 tonight, coming up in about 30 minutes, getting to some NFL stuff with the SI.com NFL Insider, a friend of this program. Get some thoughts with him on the start of the NFL season. And there's always, I can justify doing an NFL guest every damn night on this show if I really wanted to. And we probably will do it a lot of nights here. On the show. Coming up in 15 minutes, Sam Yarnell will give us some picks, some futures, some betting stuff, news you could use from the sports betting world. I presume he is in a better mood today because, of course, today, it looks like some of his picks may have hit. So I presume that Sam is in a better mood today. We'll find out for sure coming up because he gave some picks last night before the end of the show. We'll see how he fared because yesterday was a just flat out burger. So we'll see today how he did. Judging by the look on his face, he doesn't have the greatest poker face in the world, so I can't always tell if it was good or if it was bad. We'll find out from him coming up in a few minutes in our nightly segment with him each hour. Can I just start? Look, when he talks about basketball, I think Stephen A. Smith is a smart guy. If you keep him, stay in your lane. If you stay in your lane, you're Stephen A. Smith, and you talk about the NBA, I don't have any gripes with a lot of what you say. Comes from a place with a lot of knowledge, a lot of insight. You are somebody that spends a lot of time in that sort of ecosystem. So for me, I don't have any issues. I don't have any issues if you're Stephen A. Smith and you're operating in that sphere. When you start delving into other things, though, and this is the problem with First Take with Stephen A. Smith, when he talks about the NBA, he sounds great. Unless he's talking to a former NBA player who's like, a Patrick Beverly or a JJ Redick who makes him look bad. But amongst most of the punditry world, he's got some good stuff and he does well. You get him outside of that bubble, you get him into talking about things like the NFL, and he just says stupid stuff like this. Earlier today, talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Take a listen.
How do you think San Francisco's handled those?
Where? Oh, come on. He gave me the wrong one. I wanted to hear him talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, and I wound up with something else. Hold on. We'll give it to you. I thought I had the right cut queued up. But I'll give you the right one here. This is Stephen A. talking about Jimmy Garoppolo earlier today because Jimmy Garoppolo was asked about the situation in San Francisco as it relates to Trey Lance and the decision the organization made to part ways with Trey Lance and the way it all happened and the way it all went down. And obviously Jimmy Garoppolo has some sour feelings towards the organization because of the way one could argue they did not respect him. They did not, remember last year it was Trey Lance's team. Last year, this wasn't going to be, the Jimmy Garoppolo show. It was going to be Trey Lance's team. Played that first game against the Bears on the road and the slip and slide there at Soldier Field. Then the second game, he gets hurt. Then Jimmy Garoppolo comes back. He plays well. The team's doing well. Then he gets hurt. It's been a bizarre sort of situation for Trey Lance as it relates to, his situation there and then how Jimmy Garoppolo has handled it. But essentially, Stephen A. Smith came on the air today, and he didn't pull any punches when it came to the situation with Jimmy Garoppolo. He said Jimmy Garoppolo should shut up. I thought I had the audio of it. I don't. But he said Jimmy Garoppolo should shut up. That Jimmy Garoppolo has, basically no room to talk, given the fact that he can't stay healthy. Totally ignoring the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo was one throw, not 1 point, one throw away from winning a Super Bowl. keeping in mind the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo was one win away from a second trip to a Super Bowl. All right, I got it. Here's Stephen A. Smith. Take a listen for yourself.
Okay. Just shut up. Nobody want to hear from you.
He was asked this question, though.
I'm talking about Jimmy. I'm talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm certainly not saying that to you and Dan.
No, Jimmy Garoppolo was asked point blank, what do you think of the situation?
Been a lot of weird situations over there. I'm going by what he said. I'm not talking about him literally talking. It's the words that he chose. First of all, let's understand who Jimmy Garoppolo is. He's a damn good quarterback when he's playing, but it's rare that he plays. He spends more time in an infirmary than on a football field, some would argue. Okay, if he ain't doing that, he's with porn stars on Melrose.
Oh, that happened one time.
In California. Okay, I'm saying that you know of. I happen to know a little bit more than that. You know, that's why I call him porn star Jimmy. And then when you got that going, then when you don't have that going on, okay, and then when you don't have that going on, you missing throws in a Super Bowl that could have helped your team win. Let's be clear as to what I have said. I have been on the record saying this in the past, and I'm going to say this again. The 49ers didn't win because of Jimmy Garoppolo. They've won in spite of Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's spoken like somebody who doesn't watch the NFL. Plain and simple. That sounds like a guy who isn't watching the NFL. Because the numbers bear it out. Jimmy Garoppolo's a good quarterback. And if you want to take one swipe at anything, it's the fact that he's unable to stay healthy. There's been a lot of quarterbacks in the history of this game that can't stay healthy. And you can take shots and say porn star Jimmy, and then when, and then say, well, I happen to know something more than you do. Well, then say it. Just say it. This is the same guy last week that said Lonzo Ball can't get up and down from a chair. And Lonzo Ball went on social media and literally made a video of himself getting up and down from a chair. Shut up. If anybody should shut up, it's Stephen A. Smith. And this is it's a recurring event. Everybody likes to knock Skip Bayless. And Skip Bayless has become a caricature of Skip Bayless. I mean, it's sad at this point. And now they're trying to do everything they can to save that show. And they're surrounding him with anybody and everybody who could try and spruce up kind of the vibe around that show now that Shannon's gone. But Stephen A. Smith is slipping further and further in that direction, where he's just a caricature of himself. It's what happens when you believe your own press. It's what happens when, and I say this all the time, it's the Nickelback effect. Everybody loved Nickelback when they first came out. Everybody loved Nickelback. Huge hits, selling out arenas everywhere. But then you started to hear every single song on the CD. Every single song that they came out with was on the radio. And it literally, you couldn't turn on a radio station without hearing Nickelback. And everybody hated them. In politics, it was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She was the darling of the Democratic Party. And then she was on everywhere, and everybody hated her. When you become overexposed, people start to despise you. And in a lot of cases, it's because when you become overexposed, people start to realize you're kind of faking it till you make it. And outside of the NBA, where he's good, Stephen A. Smith is kind of useless. He's just loud. He's just obnoxious. It's just noise filling space. So now he tells Jimmy Garoppolo to shut up, and Jimmy Garoppolo will respond inevitably, at least Stephen A. Smith hopes to, because now it's not just a one-day story, it's a two-day story. And then before you know it, it's a 2 or 3 day story, and ESPN gets publicity out of it, and it's all great. This is the endless cycle of what Stephen A. Smith does on First Take. But Jimmy Garoppolo is a guy that was one throw away from winning a Super Bowl and one game away from winning a Super Bowl. Frankly, one half away from going to a second Super Bowl. I'll take that resume. If I'm Jimmy G, I'll take that resume. Does he have to stay healthy? Sure. Nothing's going to happen if he doesn't. All right, Sam Yarnell's coming up in a few minutes on the show. We'll get his thoughts on all things sports betting, futures, all that. All right, before we go to the break, you had this shocked look on your face when you looked at something. Did something happen and I missed it? You got 20 seconds.
News.
What's the breaking news?
Out of Nebraska. The volleyball game between Nebraska and Omaha set a new world record.
91,000?
Women's sporting event, 92,003.
I know they were aiming for at least 91,000. They got to 92,000. Wow. Sam Yarnell on the other side, the Prince of Picks. Jack of all trades. It's the cash-in at SportsMap Radio. Yeah, I was watching the thing on SportsCenter tonight where they were hoping to get to that number. Wow, they did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Grab a drink. I'll be right back.
All right. Have one for me. That's weird. I wonder why my levels were low. They weren't that low, were they, Charles? Oh, okay. That's odd. Yeah, I got to turn Sam up a little bit. How's the level on this? Ready? Let me know how this is.
And now the Cash In presents, it's Cash Cow, the Prince of Picks, Sam Yarnell.
How's that? Okay, that level is fine. Yeah, it can go up more. I just need you to tell me where. Like I could go, hold on, I'll do this.
And now the Cash In presents, it's Cash
right
Cow,
there is fine.
the Prince of Picks. And now the Cash In presents.
Okay, so that level right there is fine. Okay. Just do the regular rejoin, though. I'll throw to that myself and do it. Yeah, my imaging guy cut a few new things today.
Oh, gosh. I don't know what happened, man. The show totally just snuck up on me tonight.
Can I be honest? I totally forgot to send you the Zoom thing until 5 minutes before the show.
Yeah, well, that was fine. I mean, I just got so caught up doing everything, and then I was eating dinner at like 9:30. So if you sent the Zoom link then, I wouldn't have logged on then anyway.
That's all right. I was running around like an animal today because I had Chad cutting. I had to write imaging, then I had to get it to him, then I had to get it back, then I had to edit. I had to go into Adobe and do some editing. Ooh, that's some bass in it.
We're gonna start talking about tight ends in fantasy. Oh, I gotta turn my my fan off. It's messing with my lighting. I noticed that in the middle of the first segment.
Good times. Good to be hanging out with you all tonight. If you have not done so yet, first of all, if you're watching the show over on Twitch, Jason Page 77, on X, formerly known as Twitter, The Back Page, on YouTube or Facebook, just search for the Cash In. If you watch the video feed of the show, it makes it real easy if you want to sign up for our Cash In exclusive survivor pool through Splash Sports. There's a QR code on the screen. All you got to do is take a picture of it, put your camera on it. The website will come up. You could sign up. It's $20 to enter. If we get to 250 entries, it will pay $4,500 to the winner. We're pushing hard. Yeah. Get that cash register ready, baby. if we could fill it up. But you got to get in before September 10th. You got basically 10 days to get in and make your first pick for week 1 of the NFL season. And we'll have different survivor pools going throughout the season as well. But this is our first one. Get signed up now, splashsports.com. And again, look for me, the Cash In Survivor Pool, and sign up. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us a text on the show, too. The phone lines are open, 800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. The text line is open as well, 888-670-8549 from anywhere in America, 888-670-8549 if you want to hit us up on the text line. All righty, it's that time of the show. Without any further ado...
And now the Cash In presents, it's Cash Cow, the Prince of Picks, Sam Yarnell.
It's all you, Sam.
Jason, we're going to start in the world of fantasy sports this fine Wednesday evening. So we're finishing out August, getting ready for the NFL season to kick off a week from tomorrow, I believe. Got to have those lineups set. A week from tomorrow. Don't forget, because that'll sneak up on you, and you'll have players playing on Thursday night, and you'll totally forget and go to set your lineups on Sunday, and you'll already have guys who have played, and that's never good. So remember to set your lineups next Thursday. I'm sure I'll remind you on the show a week from today. But I specifically want to talk about tight ends in fantasy football this season, because tight end is a very interesting position in the NFL on the whole, right? You have these star tight ends who stand out when you're not thinking about it from a fantasy perspective in Travis Kelce and George Kittle, but then George Kittle really known for his blocking skills. So when you break it down and look at fantasy value, Travis Kelce far and away the best tight end in the league. And I think there's a great metric that a colleague of mine, Joe Pisapia, uses and created called relative position value. And I believe Travis Kelce was something like 81% more productive last season than the tight end 2 in fantasy football. Not even the average tight end. And the tight end 2 at the end of the season. Tight end's a very tricky position. Travis Kelce's a first-round pick because he's so good at the tight end position. But then when you look at the rest of the board, you know, you have Mark Andrews, who's number 2, and TJ Hawkinson. Those are the big 3 really in the top tier. Then guys like, you know, Kyle Pitts, who couldn't really prove himself last year, but a lot of people are really high on that Atlanta offense going into this season. Kyle Pitts, George Kittle, those guys are in the next tier, and so on and so forth. But a guy that I don't think enough people are talking about is Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end coming out of Iowa, tight end factory Iowa, for the Detroit Lions. Sam Laporta is currently tight end 19. In my draft, I got him in the second to last round last night, I believe. I've got him on almost every fantasy team that I have because he's going to get every rep in that Detroit offense. We know Jared Goff likes to throw to the tight end. Think about, but even back when he was on the Rams, all he would do was, well, he would check down to the tight end very frequently. I think that he's going to do it a lot with Sam Laporta this season. He did it with TJ Hawkinson before Detroit traded him last year. Sam Laporta is one of the most slept on tight ends in the league, in my opinion, at least right now. And I think by week 3, it's going to be too late because people are going to see how much Jared Goff really is going to love to use Sam Laporta in this offense. Sam Laporta got rest with all the first team starters during the preseason. He was kind of gifted that number 1 spot. They knew that this was their guy and they were going to use him. I'm almost higher on Sam Laporta than I am on Dalton Kincaid, and I'm a Bills fan, so that's saying a lot. I really like Sam Laporta. Invest in him if you can. He may be on your waivers in your league right now if you've already drafted. Get in on Sam Laporta before it's too late because he's going to do really well in season-long fantasy this year.
Sam Laporta. That's what you're giving me, huh? Sam Laporta. Boy, he better be good for you to be leading off tonight with Sam Laporta. Like, that better be money 2020.
I'm telling you.
Get him real cheap in DFS probably. I wonder what he cost. I wonder what he I wonder what he is on like DraftKings and FanDuel right now. I'd be curious to see.
Have they made DFS prices for Sunday of week 1 yet?
I would think so. I would think we're pretty. I think we'd be at about that time where we could get some DFS prices. Just a hunch. Major League Baseball tonight. Pirates and Royals 4-1 right now. Bottom of the 8th. I'm looking for some live bettors. Braves Rockies 7-1 in the 6th. In Colorado. 12.5 right now. That game is 7-1, bottom of 6, and 12.5 is the total. They're going to score 5 more. I know it's the Rockies. I know it's Denver, blah, 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 blah. They're going to score 5 more runs in that game. I might wait one more inning until I give a live bet on that, on the total. But 12.5 when they're at 8 right now with 3 innings left.
It's a high number.
That feels like an under coming into me. How'd you do on your picks from last night?
So,
you mentioned the Yankee. Yeah, you hit the Mariners over.
Let's see. I haven't even looked at the scoreboard for it because we had so many early games today, Jason.
Yeah. How about the Yankees? Did you wind up doing anything on that Yankees game?
I didn't touch that Yankees game. I couldn't. I was thinking about that under, I think, on the show last night, but I couldn't wind up pulling the trigger.
You were thinking under on Detroit. And you would have probably won because it was 6-2 final.
That's what I said. I said under on Detroit's team total if it was 3.5. That bet would have won, and I never got it because they hadn't posted it when we were live last night. And when I woke up this morning, I had other things to do, so I didn't get in where I fit in. That's upsetting.
Yeah, it is. Yankees have won 3 in a row, baby. Here we come.
Here goes a playoff push for
New
York.
And the biggest news of the day on the Yankees wasn't even the win. Biggest news of the day is Jason is coming to the Bronx. Well, Houston in this case. The Yankees are calling up Jason Dominguez and Austin Wells. They'll be with the team Friday when they get to Houston to take on the dastardly Astros. You know what I think of when I think of the Astros? Every time I think of the Astros,
cheating.
Yep. Charles, you know what I think of every time I think of the Astros? No, I don't think of more championships. I don't think of dynasties. No, I don't think of any of that. I think of cheaters. I think of dastardly cheaters. That's what I think of when I think of the Astros. Let me tell you, I'd be thrilled with second place right now. Second place would be a vast improvement over what the Yankees have been this year. I would sign up for that. Yankees. Just a disastrous year for the Yankees. But Jason Dominguez is coming. That's what I think of when I think of the Astros. Come on, give it to me. That's what I think.
There is no way out.
Pure evil. I think of just pure evil when I think of the Astros. The laugh of Skeletor. We're going to do some NFL on the other side. I don't know why my computer is failing me tonight. This is an expensive computer. Matt Verderam, NFL Insider, SI.com. Whole bunch of stuff to get to with him. We'll do it next on the Cash In. Yeah, I got to put it on my button bar because playing it off YouTube is no longer an option. It keeps failing me on YouTube. Well, tell him yourself. What were you saying? Say that again.
Services now.
Yeah, Sam, I was just looking at Sam Laporte. Yeah, he's projected to go really high. He's doing really well.
Hell yeah. I'm telling you, man.
Foreclosure protection services can help stop the foreclosure process.
You guys, his boom to bust ratio is 29% to 11%. Wow. We're talking boom to bust ratio. Fucking nerds.
I'm the coolest nerd you'll ever meet, man.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Sam?
I said I'm the coolest nerd you'll ever meet.
I agree. All right, let me get Verderam on. Oh, look at that. There it is. You should do your next segment with those on. Yeah, my computer is dragging tonight. God, I almost wish I could reboot it. It's terrible.
You probably can next break.
No,
you can't because it's running so much shit.
Yeah, no. If I reboot this thing, it'd be a shit show. He says he's picking up Sam Laporte now. He's got too many Bears players on his roster anyway.
Yeah, the Bears are interesting this year, man.
All right. What's that? All right, let me get Matt on the line. There he is, the Matt Verderam.
What's going on?
Just trying to make it all work, man.
Are we doing this on video? Or
No. You're fine. Just audio.
Okay. I wanted to make sure because I obviously look kind of like a bum right now.
No. Say hi to Sammy Arnell. He's the new sidekick on the show.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's up, Matt? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right, man.
Oh, Lord. Where you going? You going anywhere for week one?
Yeah, I'm going to be covering the Chiefs game.
Oh, nice.
So I will be in Kansas City.
What's wrong with that?
No, I just finished a 8-city training camp tour. So,
Jesus. I got some good stuff then. You got some good stuff then.
It's been, I've been all over 8 cities, 9 teams, and I'm going back out.
How many days?
I mean, it was over the span of 2 weeks, but I did it like I didn't stay anywhere more than one day.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. We're coming back. Hold on. We're coming back.
Yeah,
wow. That's brutal. Good to be hanging out with you on this Wednesday edition of the show. Let's talk some NFL as promised. Matt Verderam does a great job. SI.com, NFL Insider, hanging out with us on the program. Now, and this is going to be your first actual NFL season with SI. So you gotta be all jazzed up, man.
I hope I can continue to fool them. I've done it through the off season, so they hired me right after the Super Bowl. But yeah, no, it's been great. It's been fun. Did my first training camp tour, which was an awesome experience. I'll be covering the Chiefs and Lions September 7th out at Arrowhead, so I am definitely looking forward to it.
What was it like doing the training camp tour? What was your big takeaway after doing that sort of thing? You were telling me you did 9 teams in like 2 weeks, or 8 or 9 teams in 2 weeks. Give me sort of the feel of, the different teams you went to. Was there a common thread that kind of comes to mind? Just give me what your big takeaway was.
There's a lot of corn in Indiana. That's my big. I'm still dreaming of corn. No, listen. In all sincerity, yeah. So I saw 9 teams because the Lions and Giants did the joint practice. So I was at 8 camps, saw 9. So the whole NFC North. I did kind of a Midwest tour. Look, I think overall, I think the Colts are going to be bad, but I think Anthony Richardson has superstar potential. Watching that kid navigate a pocket, throw the ball, whether it was on regular platform or on the run, I think he's married to the perfect head coach in Shane Steichen, because Steichen worked with Herbert when he was a rookie. He worked with Hurts as a young kid. He knows how to get the best out of these guys. I really do believe they're going to struggle this year, but I think long term that's going to be a really good pairing.
Well, you saw his physical ability. It's hard to get inside somebody's head. If they're really bad, and he's taking a beating because they ain't got no running game, they ain't gonna have Jonathan Taylor there helping him out. You got to feel for him physically. Do you feel like he can absorb the sort of mental punishment and physical punishment that he may absorb and still be able to come through the other side?
Well, mental is hard to say. Physically, he's 6'4" and 250 pounds. There's going to be guys that are hitting him absorbing punishment. I mean, it's like watching George Kittle play quarterback. So, listen, I think he'll be okay there. And I think part of the reason they're playing him is that offensive line's not good. They gave up the second most sacks in football outside of Denver last year. And so I think there is a thought like, look, Richardson can probably negate 20 of those sacks by being mobile and running around. Is that great for his development? I don't know. But I know where the Colts are going with this. I do think Steichen's going to be a good head coach. I just think this year they're going to be bad. But then beyond that, I got to say, look, I think the Lions are going to live up to their hype for the most part. I thought, now the Bengals I'm taking out of this because Burrow wasn't there because he was hurt when I watched them. They're obviously going to be very good. Of the 8 camps I went to, I thought the Lions were the most impressive outside of Kansas City. I thought the Lions, I thought the Lions looked really good. I think they're going to win 10 or 11 games this year. I do worry a little when Jameson Williams is suspended, like who's going to step up as that secondary playmaker on the outside. But I like them, and I love Campbell as a coach. And then I guess the other part of it is the Bears on the flip side in the North. I just don't see that team competing for a playoff spot. I know that they've kind of had a lot of juice. Wow. I love the back seven on defense. Justin Fields, though, like the ball's got to come out faster. It's got to come out faster. And I think he can do it, but I think it's almost some guys the game's too fast for them. I don't think that's it with him. I think he just has to trust what he sees a little bit more. But yeah, I think the Bears will be better, but I think they're like a 6 or a 7 win team. I don't think they're going to be a 9, 10, 11 win. I just don't see that big of a jump for them.
Matt Verder, MSI.com NFL Insider, hanging out with us on the show.
Matt, you just talked about the Lions and how high you are on them, and let's keep it in the NFC North with the Lions. In this last segment that we had on the show, I was actually talking about Sam Laporta and how valuable I think he's going to be in fantasy football this year, because I think he's going to get a lot of the target share in that Lions offense. What did you see, or what have you seen out of Laporta through training camp so far in Detroit?
I can tell you he looked very good the day I was there, and I was talking to some people who were there consistently and some people around the team. Look, there's excitement that he's going to be an important part of the offense. They traded T.J. Hawkinson last year to Minnesota. They're trying to replace him. Yeah, look, Laporta, I think you're right. I think it's a pretty good bet. Fantasy football-wise, I think he is somebody who, do I think he's going to go out and have 1,000 yards? No. I mean, most rookie tight ends, they're good for, even if they're really good players, 400 or 500 yards, 600 yards. But I do think he's in a spot like Dalton Kincaid might be the more talented player. that ball's got to go a lot of places in Buffalo. Not the case in Detroit. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be the guy. But after that, okay, Gibbs is going to catch the ball some, Khalif Raymond, Marvin Jones Jr. But yeah, I think Laporta is going to be relied upon fairly heavily for a rookie there in Detroit.
And Matt, you just had an article, I think it came out yesterday, maybe it was 2 days ago, on the Bills and how they're still the beasts of the AFC East. Now, full disclosure, I'm a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. But I need some convincing about this because this is the most nervous I've been since the Josh Allen era really started and the Bills became, serious contenders, that someone else is going to win the division.
So I still think the Bills are the best team in the division because I think Allen is the best quarterback and he's the most durable of them right now. I mean, Rodgers, listen, he usually does play all the games, or at least most of them. Most years he's played all of them. The concern I have with Rodgers is going to be 40, and he's already had calf issues this offseason. It's not great. Tua obviously is a guy you worry about his health. Hopefully he can stay healthy. The Patriots, to me, I think are going to be great defense, but I don't think they're going to score. So Allen gives them that advantage. Now I will say this: although I do think that the Bills are the best team. I think the Dolphins might win that division, if for no other reason, because they're not going to be playing a first-place schedule. Buffalo is. Miami gets the second-place schedule. The question, of course, that looms very large is Tua. Can he stay on the field? Can he play 15, 16, 17 games? Mike White is their backup, and I'm sorry, but if Mike White's got to play real games, they're losing. Okay, they're not going to survive that if he's got to play for a month.
Well, that was the conversation to me, and that was the conversation to me in San Francisco. Who cares if it's Sam Darnold or Trey Lance? If either of them are starting, they're not winning anyway.
No, well, look, you're preaching to the choir with San Francisco. if I think the Niners have maybe the best roster in football outside the quarterback. Here's the problem. Quarterback kind of matters in the NFL. I hate that. I always see that. And people are like, they have this great roster. It's just a question of quarterback. That's like saying the movie was great, but the last 20 minutes were awful. Well, who the heck wants to see that? It's a terrible movie. I think the 49ers are a very talented team. I'll give you a hot take. I think Seattle's winning that division.
Wow.
I think the Seahawks are going to win. I think Seattle's flat out better than them.
Whoa.
I think the Seahawks are a better football team. I mean, I'm not down on Brock Purdy, but I just think he's fine. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's going to be exposed.
Yeah, but in the regular season, that's enough to probably get them enough wins to get by Seattle, isn't it?
Maybe, but they have a lot of guys who have injury histories. Is Bosa playing all the games this year? Is Trent Williams is getting older? Is he playing every game this year? Is Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle? A lot of those guys get hurt every year. Or to some degree, a couple games or longer, unfortunately, in other cases. I think the Niners are absolutely a playoff team and a very viable threat in the NFC. I think Seattle's really good. I think there's this general thought that Geno Smith's going to turn back into a pumpkin. I got to tell you, if you watched the film last year of Geno Smith, he was slinging it. It wasn't a lot of this bubble screen crap that goes for 80 yards and people go nuts. He threw for 400 yards. Then you watch the film and it's okay, the guy threw 2 slip screens and went for a combined 150 yards. He was wailing the ball downfield. They add Jackson Smith and Jigba. They add Devon Witherspoon on the back end of their defense. They brought back Bobby Wagner. They bring in Draymond Jones. I got to tell you, they got a lot of talent. I think Seattle is going to be a lot better than people think they're going to be.
I only got 30 seconds. 49ers say Nick Bosa is not going to be traded. Do you believe them?
Yes,
okay.
I do. If they trade Nick Bosa, I'd be stunned. But I also saw there was a quick report out there, I think from Bally Sports, that he's going to play week 1. I'm not saying that report's inaccurate, but I don't know that that's definitely going to happen either. Negotiations are weird. So we'll see. But just like Chris Jones, I worry about, you missed the whole offseason. Are you going to be healthy the whole year? Yeah, that's a big concern for me.
Matt Verderam, check out his work. See, even Sam's reading your stuff. SI.com NFL writer. Thank you, Matt. We'll talk throughout the season, my friend.
You got it. No problem.
Love him. Love Matt hanging out with us. Except he hung up before I got to say goodbye to him off the air. We got more to do on the cash-in, including Chris Ballard, the Colts GM, is talking. Cool. See, now we take that interview, Sam. I don't know if how familiar you are, but we do this 2-for-1. So we take that interview, we replay it at 30 past in the last hour. So 2 hours from now, we replay that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Dope.
That's how we do that segment every night, because it's a totally different audience at that time.
Cool. Seahawks win total. This is why I wish Verderam stayed on the phone. Seahawks win total 8.5, juice to the over. Seahawks 2-1 to win the NFC West. Hey, let's get in where we fit in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, those numbers don't really correlate. Something's gonna be wrong.
Yeah.
Gosh.
All right.
Yeah, all my stuff is just too close together today. I'm all crammed up.
Is your chair a clear chair? Is it all clear plastic?
Is.
Oh, wow. It's interesting.
Because, well, I had
Charles, no other interview this segment. That's the only interview tonight.
Desk chair, but I spin too much in it because I'm too fidgety.
You and my husband. My husband is too fidgety. Drives me nuts. He's got he must have like restless leg syndrome or something.
That tennis parlay I gave last night was a huge bust. Huge bust. It was done by like 11:30 this morning.
East Coast time? Jesus, that's bad.
East Coast time. Yeah, that was like before you woke up. God, yeah, that must be tough. I didn't realize that. The U.S. Open starts at 8 a.m. on the West Coast. That's brutal.
You know what the greatest thing in the world is? Sunday Night Football's over by like 9 o'clock every night. Yeah. Monday Night Football's over real early.
Starts at 5.
Fucking fantastic. Yankee baseball every day at 4 o'clock when they're on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Sign me up. Weekends, it's bagels and baseball. Come on. West Coast. Best Coast. You know what they say, Charles? West Coast, best coast. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. East Coast is for the birds. Watching football, watching like games. You're betting on like the late games. You gotta stay up till like 1 a.m. Find out if you won. Can't cash tickets until you're me? cash those babies nice and early. Of course, if sports betting were legal in California and we didn't screw the whole thing up. Thank you to Matt Verderam for hanging out with us, SI.com. Senior, well, not senior. I shouldn't say senior. He's not senior. He just got there. Matt Verderam, SI.com NFL writer. Sam actually read some of his stuff, say. I don't see him.
He writes great stuff.
Oh, he's dude. I love his
articles.
I love him. Yeah, we had him on. We had him on all season last year, and he was terrific. And now he's got an elevated profile, so hopefully we'll still be able to get him throughout the NFL season. That Bosa situation is interesting, and it just kind of makes me laugh when the Niners are like, "Oh, we're not going to trade Nick Bosa." They go, "We're not going to trade Nick Bosa." A week ago, they said they weren't going to trade Trey Lance either. They were like, "Oh, we see Trey Lance as part of the future here." I don't believe anybody. I don't believe anybody when they say stuff like that. Just not possible. Yep, that's how I feel. What'd you say? Love bomber? Love bombing? What is love bombing? Yeah. Oh, okay. So if somebody, yeah. Well, it's the old kiss of death when somebody gives you the vote of confidence. You know, it's the vote of confidence, and then, you know, you're spit canned, you know, within a few days. Anybody who listens to the show knows I am not a fan of the Indianapolis Colts right now. Not that I'm a fan to begin with, but sort of the way they're running that organization right now, the whole Jonathan Taylor situation. The general manager of the Colts spoke today on the Jonathan Taylor matter. Here's general manager Chris Ballard talking about, well, the fact that things suck.
We've never dealt with this before. That's why it sucks.
Sucks.
I mean, we've done a good job, you know, making sure communicating, making sure the player knew where they stood, what we were going to do going forward. So, you know, there's always a first. This happens from time to time. It's just something we work through. I don't want the indication that we don't want Jonathan Taylor. That is not true. And not true by any stat. I've never once even made that statement. I think one of the things that's like the one thing that never gets mentioned, and maybe it's just because I've never really had the opportunity, but like everybody keeps bringing up the tag and the automatic, we never used it.
No, you never got to. But you also never really came to the table with any meaningful offer for the guy. I mean, it's just bad. And he also said, and I thought that was kind of interesting, was it's where we're at, and we've got to work through it, and we're going to do everything we can to work through it. Relationships are repairable. They're repairable. Let's see. If we were making odds, here we go. No line should be. We actually have imaging for this. I just forgot where I put it. No line should be is one of my favorite imaging things that we have for this show that I never use. The chances we see Jonathan Taylor, if we were setting the line on Jonathan Taylor playing another down in Indianapolis, where would you set the line? Minus, yes, he plays another down. We'd set it at what? Plus 1,000?
No.
Not that high?
No. Here's my theory. And I love that we used this audio because, listen, the GM of the Indianapolis Colts is one of the least forgiving jobs in football. And Chris Ballard, while being dealt the hand that he was, in my opinion at least, throughout his tenure, has not done as bad of a job as everyone makes him out to have. I just think that they're going to come around, and I think that this is they're entering the damage control phase, because they're waiting for Irsay to come around and say, yeah, we can pay Jonathan Taylor. And then they'll pay him whatever he wants because he is a franchise player.
So you think he's going to play for them again?
I don't think it's 10-1.
So you think it's like plus 250?
Nah, I wouldn't even go that high.
Really?
I'd go 175. I'd go plus 175. Yes. I'd go minus 200. No.
I think the water's too tainted. I can't see him going back there. I can't see it.
And that's why the no's minus 200, because at the end of the day, in today's NFL, especially in the NFL where running backs are as controversial really across the board as they are, it's hard, but I don't think it's out of the question. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing there. I would take that bet. So I don't think if I can get it at minus 200 that he doesn't play another down in Indianapolis, I would take that bet in a heartbeat. Because there's clearly distrust there. And once there's no trust, there's really no coming back from that. It's like a marriage. Not to say it's like cheating, but once that trust is broken, you can try to repair it. You get back together. It's good for a couple of days. And then the first time there's a little bit of adversity, you get it thrown back in your face, and you're back in the same place again. I don't think so. And here's the other what if to all of this. If the guy the guy that's replacing Jonathan Taylor runs the football well the first 4 weeks, there's zero impetus for them to get a deal done with Jonathan Taylor. Because it just goes to prove the point that all of these GMs and all of these owners are trying to make, which is that the running back position is so interchangeable. Doesn't have to be Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan, you want to take the chance. Yeah, you wanted to be traded. Now we got somebody else. His bargaining value, if you're Jonathan Taylor, if in the first 4 weeks they run the football well without him, overplayed your hand. Now you're in limbo. That's what I think could happen. Huh?
But it wasn't last season. It was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
When Taylor had one of his crazy years.
Oh, yeah.
I believe. No. Maybe it was last season.
Well, no, last season he was bad because he was hurt. Last season he was injured.
Right. So you're right. So it was 2021.
He was huge in 21.
He was huge in 21 because that entire Colts offense was just run the ball.
Yes.
And there was 1 week where Jonathan Taylor was out. Deion Jackson filled in for him, and Deion Jackson ran the absolute hell out of the ball, and he performed really well for the Colts in the Colts offense that week. I think that he's still on the roster. He's the 3rd string now behind Zach Moss.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that even if him and Zach Moss come out weeks 1 through 4 and combine for 150 yards, all-purpose yards a game, I still don't think there's a chance. I think that the team will pursue Jonathan Taylor. My query with that theory at this point is,
are you Dr. Seuss?
Will Jonathan Taylor have the Colts done too much damage on their side to their relationship with him? Would he ever be willing to come back? That's my biggest.
I think. Look, he in 2021, he had almost 2,200 yards of total offense. That's if he's healthy, and you're giving up on that at 24. My God, you should have your head examined.
That's why I don't think they're going to. That's why at the end of the day, I don't think they will.
Irsay is the big wild card in all this, though. If Irsay is headstrong and he wants to send a message, put that boy in his place. Got to teach you some respect. I don't know. I don't see it coming. You got to pay attention. That's hour number 1 of the Cash In. Hour number 2, right around the corner. Who will be the first quarterback to be replaced in 2023? That's next. And there you go. Hour number 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the video feed. I'm going to have it set up the next time we do an interview. So when you ask a question, like right now I have you, I don't know if you've seen what the video feed looks like, but I have it set up where when I'm talking, you know, for the whole show, I have it where my image is in the right-hand corner, it's bigger and all that stuff. When we do interviews, I'm going to have it set up so that when you go to ask a question, I'm going to switch the shot and you'll actually be bigger.
Got it.
So every time you ask a question, your profile will be bigger. I'm probably going to do something similar to that with the second segment each hour. It's just building out these video boards is a pain in the ass. And it just fries my brain.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you scared the shit out of me. Oh my God. Sidle up on me like that. Say hi to Sam. There you go. There you go.
Oh, I turned my video around so that is legible and that is legible now. But now it's got me all crossed up.
Charles, if there's a way I could get video of you during the show, I would do it. I'm not sure I would do it.
Oh, that would be sick.
Yeah, I know. It's a huge it's just people don't know the technical undertaking it is to do all of this. If I could hire somebody just to handle all the video elements of this show, my life would be so much easier. If I could have a little troll in the corner that was pushing all the video buttons, make life so much easier. Yeah. Also known as a director. You know, like if I had that, like I'm literally the director and the host and I run a board. You know, it's like just
I think the job description of troll is way better.
Yeah. Head troll.
I don't know if Charles can hear me right now, but something
He
that
can.
I don't know I've just had on my mind ever since yesterday.
Yeah.
Is that when you bring in Charles, we need to have Tops Drop by Fat Pat playing underneath it. That
Why?
Song, because it literally just repeats. What is it? Trump. It's great tune. First of all, here I'll play it for you because we have time.
You are the whitest person I know, and you're telling me about something called what? Tops Drop?
It's a great song by Fat Pat.
Whitest dude I know. You're whiter than me. Yeah, he said also Texas music, which is ironic that you know it. No, we're coming back.
I had a buddy from Houston. I'll play it next break.
There we go. Another hour of the show starts right now on SportsMap Radio and the SportsMap Radio app. Thoughts going out to all our friends in the Southeast, Florida, Georgia, the South Carolina, North Carolina. We got I know we got some listeners in the Clemson area as well. Best thoughts and wishes going out to you guys out there. I know you're dealing with the effects of Idalia. You know, it's funny. I think the last time I heard that name, Adalia, when I went in elementary school, I had. Why are you laughing? Where did you think I was going? What did you think? I was going to say like a stripper that I saw one time named Adalia.
Well, we talked about some crazy stuff last night. Anything is fair game tonight, Jason.
You should have seen the look on Sam's face for people not watching the show, which you can right now over on Twitch. Jason Page 77 is my name there on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the back page. Or on Facebook or YouTube, just look for the Cash In with Jason Page. No, I had a girl that I went to school with. Her name was Adalia. That was the last time I think I've ever heard that name. And now it's a named storm. There you go. I know.
Why are we still naming storms in 2023?
We got it, because how else would you differentiate them? What? No, Tropical Storm 1, Tropical Storm 2, that'd be boring.
Yes. Dude.
I'll never forget the hurricane that hit Connecticut.
Instead,
when I was a little kid, Hurricane Gloria hit Connecticut. It took out and I'll never forgive it because that storm, Hurricane Gloria, took down our above ground swimming pool, and my father never replaced the pool. And that was it. My pool was gone. Yep. Thank you, Charles. Rest in peace, Jason's above ground pool. I was 9, I think, when Hurricane Gloria hit. And Big Frida. Yeah. Like if it's like a category 1, it should be like Little Adalia. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Charles. I like that. I endorse that statement. In this hour of the show, you'll hear from Sam Yarnell, his picks and futures and fantasy and all that stuff. Yeah, apparently I'm out of the loop on it. It's a whole total surprise to me. I have no idea what he's going to talk about next segment, which might be the greatest tease in the world because the drama is building to a segment, and I have no idea what he's going to say. He could burp the alphabet into the microphone for 10 minutes for all I know when the next segment begins. Mark Cuban's got a thing against weed, apparently. We'll get to that coming up in this hour of the show. And another NBA story, and it sounds like one that the NBA is happy is going away. We'll get to that as well. All right, everybody. Well, Charles, you can even play along in this too if you want. Who is going to be the first NFL quarterback to be replaced in 2023? Who's the first starting quarterback that will be supplanted in the 2023 season? Charles. Sam's got his hand up like we're in history class. All right, you've got one for me. You're going to say Sam Howell? Oh, Charles said the same thing. Charles and you both said Sam Howell at the same exact time.
Oh, come on. Dang it. We had a great betting opportunity missed.
You both.
I was too busy thinking about Sam Howell.
And I'm not saying by injury. I'm saying because of performance, obviously.
Yeah, I still think it's Sam Howell.
If I wanted to go contrarian here, because Sam Howell does seem like the logical pick, but if I was going to go contrarian here, I'd go Baker Mayfield.
See, here's my thing about that.
Yeah.
Kyle Trask, not as good as Jacoby Brissett. and Buccaneers not in as much of a situation where they really need to win as the Commanders are. The Commanders are going to come out wanting to win more than anything this season. New ownership, Ron Rivera arguably coaching for his job this year. Eric Bieniemy is going to want to prove himself in his first year as offensive coordinator, especially with Sam Howell at the helm. But if it doesn't work out with Sam Howell, they're going to need Bieniemy to prove himself another way, and Brissett is going to be the best option. He is the most mediocre quarterback in the league.
Sam Howell, not Brissett.
No, Brissett.
I think Brissett's better than mediocre. I think Jacoby Brissett is I think he's like average to slightly above average. You can win with. I'm going to tell you something. I watched those Cleveland Brown games last year. He played in a lot of bad luck. Jacoby Brissett could play. If you surround him, put him in the right system, the right player, you can win with Jacoby Brissett. I've watched a lot of Jacoby Brissett. You know who I think of when I think of Jacoby Brissett? I think of Charlie Batch. You're too young to remember Charlie Batch.
No, I remember the very end of his career.
You remember him like at the end playing for Pittsburgh for like 5 minutes. Correct, I remember him with the Lions when he was actually good. And the unfortunate thing was he played for the Lions. But Charlie Batch was a good quarterback. Jacoby Brissett is the case of some guys are born on third base. Some guys are born in the on-deck circle. In the case of Jacoby Brissett, it's always been an uphill battle. It's always been, well, he's kind of the second option. We'll give him a chance. It's almost like the Tyrod Taylor stuff. Tyrod Taylor might have been a decent quarterback if he actually had gotten an opportunity in a good situation. But unfortunately, he was the starting quarterback of the Bills before the Bills were actually good. So
hold on. Back it up.
Oh, here comes Bills fan number one.
Taylor. Here comes diehard Bills fan. Tyrod Taylor ended the curse in 2017. Bills Mafia will be forever thankful for Tyrod Taylor. He is an above average quarterback.
Yes, but that's what I mean.
He did not get what he deserved
he didn't.
in LA, and it ended his career.
It's a fair point. Were they in San Diego still when he got hurt? Or were they LA?
They may have been.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chargers.
Yeah, no, I know. With the Chargers. But Charles, you were saying you agree with me on the Baker Mayfield one? Prescott Prescott and who will swap teams? Mac Jones? Oh, no. Prescott's got a no trade. Dude, Dak Prescott's got a no trade. He's not leaving. He's not. No, he's not going to go play for the Patriots are a dumpster fire now. Post Brady, that organization, post Brady, that organization's a train wreck. Nobody wants to go. They don't know what they're doing in terms of hiring coordinators and coaches. Nah. Innovation. Yeah. I'm not high on the Patriots. They'll still figure out a way to beat the Jets twice this year, though, which will be great. Because no matter how bad the Patriots are, they will still find a way to beat the Jets every year. Yeah, I can't. No. Because I've been fooled too many times. They're the Jets. They'll figure out a way to screw it up. There's some organizations, like for years, even with the Patriots up until a couple of years ago, you would say, oh, the Patriots will just figure out a way because it's Bill Belichick, it's the organization, it's the system, it's the way it's run. They'll figure out a way. There's certain organizations you could say they'll figure out a way to win X number of games. With the Jets, you could go the other way and say they'll figure out a way to screw up a cup of coffee. They'll screw up a ham sandwich. That's just the Jets way. They'll figure out a way to screw it up. Say it again. How do you still not say it about Cleveland? We will. It's the make or break year, I think, for Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. Again, where are they going? If he doesn't play well, where are they going anyway? But I'm looking it up. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else who could potentially be out of a job. I don't see a lot. I was just looking at the NFC. Starting quarterbacks. I don't know. Got anybody else who's a possibility? Atlanta? Ritter?
I think they're all in on him this year.
What'd you say? Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
I think that the Falcons are all in on Ritter this year. That's all I was going to say.
Mac Jones? What? I mean, you're laughing, but they're not enamored with him.
Quarterback on the roster. They cut Zappy. They got rid of Malik Cunningham.
They're not happy with. They don't like Mac Jones.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have kept someone else if they were really unhappy with him. Tannehill probably, but really, Will Levis, huh? Mayonnaise coffee kid.
But again, remember, if they're bad enough, if Tennessee is bad enough, and they see
do is run the football,
still got to be able to throw it. Levis might be the first backup to get playing time though, because Tannehill will get hurt.
I was gonna say this is all barring injury.
Yeah,
if we're not barring injury, I bet you Tannehill is the first to get hurt because
he always does. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Sam Yarnell's got some news you could use: sports betting, fantasy, all that good stuff. It's the Cash In. We're coming back. The first segment definitely with me crushing Stephen A. Smith. If it's possible to edit out the long gap where I'm waiting to find the audio. Yeah, that's good.
Come on.
First segment of this hour we could use too. This conversation we did, the Matt Verderam interview.
And now the Cash In presents, it's Cash Cow, the Prince of Picks, Sam Yarnell. And now the Cash In presents.
Oh, we're not back yet.
You were like, oh my God, we're back.
All right, I got a juicy live opportunity, and then since there's literally nothing going on, I guess we'll do futures.
You said there is a juicy live opportunity, or there isn't?
No, there is.
Oh, okay.
Dodgers -4.5.
The Doyers? Okay. And what I say, under 12.5, that Braves Rockies game. 7-3, bottom of the ninth.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I knew that one was good. I knew that one was gold for the kiddies. I'll say it again. You got to pay attention. I got to get some Foghorn Leghorn drops for the show.
Foghorn. Oh,
it's my favorite shoot. Foghorn Leghorn is the greatest. I'll say it again. It's gas, son. It's gas. No, come on. You're saying my Foghorn Leghorn isn't good? Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were crushing my Foghorn Leghorn. I was like, geez. Crushing me. Coming up in 15 minutes. Why doesn't Mark Cuban like the wacky weed? You're going to have to try and get that sorted out. Is Mark Cuban? Not a fan of the wacky weed, apparently. At least that's what he said to Patrick Beverly. Gave that impression. So we'll get to that coming up in a few. Keep an eye on Major League Baseball tonight. Aroldis Chapman died a terrible death on the mound again tonight. I'm telling you, man. He is doing Aroldis Chapman things these days. Mets are the beneficiary. It's just such a disaster. Oh, man.
Inconceivable!
No, not when it's Aroldis Chapman. It's not. It's not at all. They're paying him some stupid sum of money, too.
$10 billion.
Not that much, but they're paying him a lot. The Royals paid him decent in the offseason. All right. Without any further delay, it's that time of the hour.
And now the Cash In presents, it's Cash Cow, the Prince of Picks, Sam Yarnell.
Thank you, Chad Erickson. Sam, it's all you.
So let's keep it out by you, Jason. West Coast baseball going on right now. We usually talk live betting. All right. We usually talk live betting here in the second hour of the program. And there's a great opportunity. Let me go back to my handy-dandy sports book here and make sure it's still there for the people. But we are getting the Dodgers laying 4.5 live out at Chavez Ravine over the Diamondbacks. They're up 4-0 right now. Diamondbacks are at the plate. 2 outs, top 4 runners on the corners. Love the Dodgers here. Diamondbacks have lost both of the first 2 games of this series out at the formerly flooded grounds of Dodger Stadium.
Diamondbacks are rolling over right now, man.
Well, they're 7-3 in their last 10, but yes, other than that, they're rolling over. Pain since the All-Star break. They've just been horrible. You can't do anything with them. Betting, fantasy, DFS, anything. You can't even watch them. It's hard for me to watch them right now, but I'm doing it because we're putting a couple of shekels on the Dodgers minus 4.5. I see them scoring another run, and I don't see the Diamondbacks getting a run in. Ryan Pepiot's looked pretty good in this start. He's 70 pitches deep here in the top of the 4th.
That's dangerous, though.
How much longer they leave him in.
That's a dangerous bet right now with runners on first and third. That's a dangerous bet.
Well, see, I made the bet before the runners were on first and third, and I made the bet when I was getting plus money. But
innings over, by the way. They got out of the jam.
Just got out of the jam.
You're good.
So, yeah, we're all good on that front. Still looking good. Get in where you fit in. Dodgers minus 4 in the hook right now. I love it, love it, love it. And let's also continue to talk a little bit about the Dodgers. Not necessarily betting wise now, Jason, but I just saw this and I got to get it in the show. Did you know that Freddie Freeman has a shot to do something that we haven't seen in 87 years this season?
What's that?
He has a chance to have a 60 double season.
It's been 87 years since somebody had that many doubles? Really?
1936 was the last season, and there were 2 people who had 60 doubles, 60 or more doubles in 36. Charlie Gehringer of the Detroit Tigers. It had to be the Tigers back then. I don't think they've ever. He had 60. And then Joe Medwick of the 1936. That had to be the St. Louis Cardinals, too. That was after they were the Browns. So Joe Medwick had 64 doubles in 1936.
Wow.
Freddie Freeman.
It's no betting on that, though, right?
No, I haven't seen any lines for it. And you know, it's funny, Jason, because the book tends to not have those, you know, specialty lines all that frequently. Like when Luis Arraez was on that crazy streak. Right. We talked about that, you know, a few months ago before the All-Star break on the show. And those things are just so crazy. I can't ever find myself betting on them. You know what I mean? By the way, Freddie Freeman has 50 doubles this season. It's already a career high for him.
So he's got basically a month to get 10 more doubles.
Correct.
80-something years. Wow, that's crazy.
He's got a month to hit 10 doubles. He's also the hottest hitter on the freaking planet right now.
Well, aside from Jason Dominguez, who's coming up for the Yankees.
Oh, my gosh.
Jason Dominguez is the hottest hitter in any level of baseball right now. Just go look it up. Dude's raking. Jason Dominguez is going to save the Yankee season with a month left. Yankees are going to go win like 25 of their last 30 and make the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
You know it.
Mauricio is going to save the Mets.
There's some truth in what I say.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is. Some truth in what I say.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. By the way, you can get the Yankees at plus 100,000 right now to win the World Series.
Please.
$10.
That is taking a $10 bill, lighting it on fire, and running away. That is exactly what that is doing.
What's a tenner? It's like owning a strip bar and just stuffing it down somebody's pants.
If you want to go ahead and donate your $10 to the sports book,
yes,
be my guest. I would rather put that $10 on the Dodgers -4 in the hook right now because they just got a base runner here in the bottom of the fourth. By the way, Freddie Freeman in the month of August in 2023, in 27 games, hitting .370, 425 on base, 593 slugging. That's good for a 1018 OPS, and it's not even his best month of the season. This dude is lighting the world on fire, and we completely stopped talking about him.
Yankees are only 10 out in the wild card, by the way.
The Washington Nationals are closer to the playoffs than the New York Yankees.
Are they?
Yeah, they're 9.5 out of the wild card. Same as the Giants.
No, they're actually 7.5. Washington's only 7.5 out of the wild card.
Oh, there you go.
They've won 6 of 10. Boy, the Rangers are going the wrong way. They've lost 7 of 10.
Yeah, that was not great when I came on the show a few months ago and gave the Rangers as an almost lock to be there in the ALCS. Not feeling so great about that one here.
Orioles got doubled up by the White Sox tonight, 10-5.
That's okay. They're going to be good when it matters, and that's all that matters.
I wonder who's going to pick up Lucas Giolito. Somebody, you think like the Mariners, the Rangers, somebody got it. Somebody has to need starting pitching enough that you take a flyer on Lucas Giolito for the final month of the season, right? Oh, take the good Lord.
We just talked about him.
Yeah.
We just talked about him.
You think by going soft and gentle with your voice, that's gonna make Lucas Giolito come and play there?
Come back to Washington. Lucas, back to Washington.
I can tell you what, I don't know if he's gonna come on during the season because he's pretty much made it clear to me by the fact that he hasn't responded to any of my texts that my understanding is he didn't want to talk to the media during the season because he's a free agent after the season. But when the regular season's done, if he's not on a postseason roster, I think we'll get him on the show, and you'll be able to make your sales pitch to Lucas Giolito on the show. I mean, what more can I do?
He can be part of that. He can be part of the next version of that. For those of you on the audio-only side, I'm pointing to my plaque commemorating the Washington Nationals 2019 championship over the Houston Astros.
Steven Strasburg was part of that team. Rest in peace to your career, Steven Strasburg.
Let's get him on the show.
I don't have any connections to him, but I'd love to. I remember where I was when Steven Strasburg actually had his first start as a Washington National. I was it was against the Pirates, if I'm not mistaken.
It was. He struck out 14. And he had the best days of my life.
And I was at a restaurant called Coach's. It was called Coach's Sports Bar and Grill in Southington, Connecticut, when he had that first start. I'll never forget it. Of all the stupid things I could remember, my brains are like mashed potatoes. And for all the things I can remember where I was when Steven Strasburg and who he started that game with. And it's crazy. And you know what the crazier part is, by the way? Crazier part is he's still getting paid for like the next few years at a huge number because they don't have an insurance policy on him. Woo!
I'm really rich.
That's what he's saying right now.
So there's some intricacies to that because with him retiring, that comes with them having to make a deal to close it all up.
But right now they're on the hook. It's a lot of money. All right, stay with us. Why would you go anywhere else? Mark Cuban doesn't like the weed. That's next. What'd they score? Dodgers about to score?
Second and third, 2 outs. Max Muncy at the plate.
2 outs?
Oh shit. What was I gonna say there at the end of that segment?
About Strasburg?
Yes. I was going to say shit. It was right before.
Oh, who was catching? Who was catching?
Oh, right. Do you know who was catching?
Not FP Santangelo, was it?
No. I'll tell you on the other side.
All right.
But great guess, and say that on the other side.
All right.
You can't say no.
Shout out to FP. If we can get FP on the program, that would be awesome.
Am I right or am I right or am I right? Right.
Don't you have some kind of a line that you keep open for emergencies or for celebrities? I'm both. I'm a celebrity in an emergency.
Filthy language.
Pirates are on the come. I think the Pirates are only a year or two away, especially in that division.
Oh, yeah. Once they get Oni, let's talk about that during this segment too.
I'll have to save it because I want to get to the Mark Cuban thing.
Oh, right. I gotta pull that up.
I've got audio of that thing too, of Mark Cuban saying that.
I've been trying to listen. It's the Eric Lewis thing, right?
What,
No,
Mark
no.
Cuban?
Yeah.
No, he was on.
Yeah.
The link
Right,
is
the
in the
weed
thing I
thing.
sent you. The link is in
Yep, it is. I clicked the wrong link. It's
Yeah.
the next story that we're going to talk
Gotcha.
about is.
Yeah. I didn't get to take a nap today. I usually take a nap every afternoon. I didn't have any time to take a nap today. So I'm like on fumes. We break.
That's wild.
What?
I'm watching this video.
Ah.
Let's go. Double. Dodgers scoring 2. 6-0. Dang. We're giving out winners for the people.
It ain't over yet.
I like our spot. I like the spot we're in.
All right. Jason, Sam, Charles, hanging out with you on this Wednesday night. Your Cash-In Collective. And apparently we've got some action. Sam said take the Dodgers minus 4.5 and they're up 6-0. Sam, is that what you're telling me?
They're up 6-0. Max Muncy double drives in 2.
Still a lot of game left though. We're not cashing the ticket yet.
No. But bottom of the fourth, 2 outs. We're in a good spot.
Yeah, like I said, it feels body language, sort of the vibe of that series. I could see that ending ugly for Arizona. The game of that series for them was Monday night when they had Zach Gallen on the mound, and he gave up like 6 runs, including a Jason Hayward home run. I didn't even know Jason Hayward was still in the league.
He's at bat right now.
I'm serious. I didn't even know Jason Hayward was still playing. Because who pays attention to the Dodgers? The only thing you pay attention to the Dodgers is when we get to the postseason. Because they're, you knew they were gonna win the division, even when Arizona was playing well. It was just a matter of time. Everybody was waiting for the anvil to fall on the Diamondbacks, which it has. And you knew the Dodgers were going to win that division. Look, the Dodgers have reached a point, and this is respect, by the way, where the only thing they're going to be judged on is what they do in the postseason. That's it. Same thing with the team. I'd say teams like the Astros now are going to be judged that way. There's not many teams you could say it about. I'm just sitting here thinking about it. There's not many teams you could say that about that in baseball, where they're basically just going to be judged by what they do in the postseason. Let's say Atlanta. Have they reached that point with this group of players? Maybe. It's not a lot of teams you could say that their regular seasons are kind of irrelevant because the expectations are so high. I think we probably would have said that with San Diego or the Yankees or the Mets this year, given their payrolls, but they were so incredibly disappointing. We were talking before the end of the last segment about Steven Strasburg, his first start, which was what, 2010? Is that 2010?
2010.
Yeah, 2010 against the Pirates.
June 17th, I believe. June 14th.
So 2010 against the Pirates. I remember who he started against, and I remember he had a great game. You knew the exact number of strikeouts he had in that start. We were all just watching going, oh, my God. But you asked me an interesting question before the break. You said, who was the catcher in that start? And my guess would have been F.P. Santangelo.
So it was June 8th, 2010.
Okay.
And I love that guess. Shout out to FP Santangelo. Great Montreal Expo.
Mm-hmm.
Great Washington Nationals color commentator for many years. Shout out to FP. The color commentator this night alongside Bob Carpenter was actually Rob Dibble.
Wow,
and the catcher behind the dish was Hall of Famer Ivan Pudge Rodriguez.
Wow. Really? Wow, I totally forgot about the Pudge time in DC.
I know way too much about a horrible baseball team.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that one. Coming up in 15 minutes, a story the NBA wishes would go away, and they may have gotten their wish. But Mark Cuban, who knew? At least when it comes to his basketball team and owning his basketball team, not a big fan of the wacky weed. This was him on the Patrick Beverley podcast, the Pat Bev Pod. Take a listen to Patrick Beverley interviewing Mark Cuban, the Q&A that takes place here regarding players and some of their vices.
I've been debating to ask you this, but I have to ask you this. I categorize it as human versus business when it comes to the NBA, right? A guy scores, 17 points a game, but he has vices.
Right.
He might, party. He might gamble. He might.
Yep. Everybody's got something.
Everyone has something. Obviously, this information gets to you because obviously you own the team. Does that factor in how much you give someone?
Yes. 100%. 100%. Because it's a team. No lie, I've traded guys because they smoke too much. Teams get their own culture. If you got some young dudes on there that are just figuring out, smoke some, but don't know what the team culture is, right? Or the NBA culture is. And you got one dude that's just, you walk down the hall in the hotel and he's on that floor and there's no doubt about it. And then all of a sudden these other kids start picking up on it. And that's kind of, you see them coming out of their room. You see them, a little bit red-eyed coming to practice all of a sudden. You don't want them going down that road. I mean, everybody smokes, right? It's not about that, but there's smoking, There's how powerful the shit you're doing is, and then there's how much you do. You know, if you get past that level where you got to look at the bigger picture, right? That's just not the culture.
Do we have a problem with that? I mean, because look, it is part of the culture today. It is part of the culture in the league. It's part of the culture of professional athletes today. I'm not saying, you should be hotboxing in your hotel room or, in your car going down the street in Big D, but I mean, is Mark Cuban potentially cutting guys or sending them on their way that could be valuable assets just because based on his idea of what, everybody's a pot smoking hippie, everybody's a pot smoking junkie? Thank you, Stephen A. Smith. I don't know. What do you think, Charles? DC, I go to you. I go to you on the weed question because I don't think Sam does it. I know I don't. I'm not assuming you do, by the way. I'm not casting any aspersions here. But I go to you for the weed question. Isn't that great? Man, I am the worst human being in the world. Yeah. What's the line? What's the line, though? You know what I mean? Like, what's the line of too much? How do you know? What if a guy comes to practice and his eyes are bloodshot? I see that every day when I go into Starbucks and a barista's back there. You got to be high to work at Starbucks.
Listen, if you do your job, who cares? I think this is wild. And I'm usually the guy who comes to Mark Cuban's defense when he does some stupid stuff like this.
You mean like tank the final game of the season instead of making it into the playoffs?
Right. Correct.
Like an idiot?
Right. That was stupid. But I still didn't, feel the way most people do about him over that. This is a bridge too far almost. Because listen, the NBA has already come out and said that that's not the viewpoint that they take. That's not the stance that they take on the matter, right? In their most recent collective bargaining agreement with the NBPA, they took cannabis, marijuana off of the banned substances list.
Mary Jane.
There are former NBA players, Carmelo Anthony, John Wall, investing heavily in the cannabis industry. I think that this is a bad look for Mark Cuban. It's a bad look for the league, which credit the NBA for being one of the most accepting leagues in America. But what are we doing here? Come on.
Yeah, I just think it's the wrong league to send that message to because I think. And look, I'm not stereotyping here by saying, well, a lot of NBA players like to smoke the weed. Therefore, I'm saying a lot of black people like to smoke weed. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just think it's more prevalent in basketball, regardless of race or any of that stuff.
They also are given the most freedom as athletes to be do open with that kind of thing.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, Joe Biden, it's funny you say that. Not to go political here, but I will because I can because it's my show. But Joe Biden today, the White House put out the feeler. Their way of trying to court young voters for 2024 is to say, we're going to federally legalize weed. Oh, yeah. You want to get young people to the polls? Tell them the weed's going to be legal if you vote me in, and boom! 4 more years of Joe Biden. He might be sipping mashed potatoes through a straw by the second year of that 4 years, but hey Joe, here's your applesauce. The old airplane thing. Oh, you can count on it. It's going to be great. Everybody's going to be running that White House except Joe Biden by about 2026. It's going to be like president for a day. You get to be president today. Uncle Joe is sleeping. He's taking his nap. Pass the Geritol. Because we just like to elect old people in this country, old white men. We're coming back. I want him. I want him on the other side. I told him I would rather do him on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, so just let him know.
Who?
Silver and gold.
Who do we
Want to see something amazing? This right here is an iPhone 4 next to an iPhone 13.
Jeez.
You can't appreciate how small the iPhone 4 was unless you look at it side by side with an iPhone 13. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I got this. My father was like clearing out old electronic stuff, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is such a cool relic. I want it."
Can you take my audio off of the stream for a second?
Yeah. Hold on.
Just had to get that off my chest.
I gotta see. Is it legal in Virginia?
I think it is, because I think that I've driven by this dispensary in Arlington a couple of times.
God, there's one every fucking block in Palm Springs.
I know.
There's
really
dispensaries everywhere.
Must be awesome.
I've done edibles a few times, but I don't smoke at all.
Oh,
and the
dude,
few times I've done edibles, I've turned into Mitch McConnell, like catatonic. No, really. I just sit there and go like this with a line of drool going down my mouth.
See, listen, I think it was, I don't remember whether it was Snoop Dogg
legalized possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana in 2021.
Right. No, I think it was Nick Young who said this, and Snoop Dogg reposted it. But Nick Young's quote on edibles, and I completely agree with it, is, "I can't do those because there's no off button." Like, you know what I mean, though? Like, you never stop with those. Like, it never stops.
Yeah.
You can't control it solidly.
Yeah, that makes sense. See, I didn't know what my threshold was one time because I literally had only like smoked weed twice in my life. And then one night I was at a friend's house, my old roommate, and he was like, "Here, try some edibles." And I was like, "Okay." And they were like sour strings or something. And I ate like 2 sour strings, and it wound up being way too much. And all I know is like an hour and a half later, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. A Sally Struthers like Feed the Children commercial is on, and I'm literally laughing uncontrollably with like tears streaming down my face. And at one point, my roommate looked at me and he goes, "Jason," he goes, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You've been like this." For like my jaw became so heavy I could not keep my mouth closed. So I was just like this.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I'm 2 things. I'm a funny drunk, and apparently I'm funny if I get stoned. We're coming back. We were just discussing where weed is legal around the country and experiences with it. Charles, is it legal in Texas? It is not legal in Texas. Not even medically? Oh, medical weed. Okay. So you just say, "Hey, I got an old football injury." There you go. Go get your weed. Charles is like, no comment. Come on, Charles. Play along. Come on. Don't make me break out Skeletor, man. Smoke the wacky weed.
Inconceivable!
The only time I've literally only had like 3 experiences with it. The very first time, this is a true story. I was waiting tables at a Chili's in 1999. Yeah, 99. I was waiting tables at a Chili's. No, but it was 99. I was waiting tables at a Chili's, and a kid I went to high school with, who was also working at the Chili's, I won't say his name on the air, invited me over. Had a couple of beers, and I don't even drink beer, but we had a couple of beers, and he goes, "Here, you want some, want spark up?" And he got the big old bong and all that stuff, and I smoked. And what happens when you smoke late at night? You get the munchies. So at like 1:30 in the morning, there's this little sub shop that was open in East Haven, Connecticut. I go to the sub shop. I pick up a sub, like a hoagie. I go back to his place, park the car, walk up the stairs, up the back deck, walk into the house. And all of a sudden I realize at 1:30 in the morning, I'm not in the right house. It's pitch dark. I'm in somebody's kitchen. I have no idea whose kitchen it is. I just knew I wasn't in the right house. I quietly walked out the door. Nobody knew I was there. And I went to his house, which was next door. I got to the bottom of the stairs and it said, "Oh my God, the houses all look the same." So I didn't realize I was in the wrong house. Went into the house next door. Sam's reaction says it all. That's exactly what I would expect the reaction to be.
Yeah. How do you do that? I mean, I get a lot of stuff, Jason, but that one's why. Maybe it's because I'm pretty good directionally. So if I go somewhere once, I can generally get back there without needing a GPS or whatever the case may be. But
stoned and a little buzzed from the alcohol probably did it. Yep.
Good thing you were operating a motor vehicle.
Thank you.
Talking about it on the air.
You.
I think these are all.
I was not drunk.
We should continue to make.
I was not drunk.
Sarcasm.
Yeah, I was not drunk. Oh, I've told all my stories. I've told all my stories. There's no. I have no skeletons in the closet. Just live bodies. Just live bodies. Thank you. Dave in Connecticut is hanging out. By the way, the phone number, if you want to be a part of the show, I rarely give it out. 800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. You can text the show at 888-670-8549, 888-670-8549. Dave in Connecticut on the Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Go ahead, Dave. Have you taken advantage? Have you taken advantage of weed being legal in Connecticut, Dave? Oh, okay. All right. I'm just checking. You have a question on? You said so. So they said you had a question on the Super Bowl. We didn't even start the season yet. Okay. Yeah, that's a bad break for them. Yeah, 295 on the year for Jaren Duran. Thirty-four of his 98 hits were doubles. Yep. This is outright. So wait, just so I'm clear, this is outright to win the Super Bowl? See, now on the FanDuel Sportsbook, it's got KC plus 600 and it's got Cincy plus 1,000. I love Cincy at plus 1,000. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and this is why price shopping, by the way, and I'm glad you bring this up because it leads me into an important point. That price shopping is so important. You know, if you're in a state that's got multiple books, you got to look around and find yourself the best price. You know, because the difference between, Cincinnati at 800 and Cincinnati is 1,000. I mean, you're talking significant money there. That is a nice Ruth Chris night. Yeah. Oh God, are you kidding? Probably a lot better than that. Dave, appreciate the call, my man. All right, Dave in Connecticut. So Dave was basically, his point was Kansas City and Cincinnati. Take both of them, and you'd like your chances. Because you can make the argument for the next 5 years, one of those two teams has got a good shot to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. I know you're a Bills fan. You want to believe that's not going to be the case, but reality, Sam, Kansas City and Cincinnati, if you want to just make outright bets on the Super Bowl right now, bet on those two teams and ride or die with that. It's not a terrible idea.
It's not. But use it, and I like the logic. I really do. Shout out to Dave in Connecticut. But Dave, let's step that logic up just one level, right? And let's get more specific with our wager. Let's just go to conference winners. We can get the Chiefs at 3.5 to 1, or the Bengals at 5.5 to 1. Throw a sprinkle on both of those if you're using even units, and either one of them. If you get a Chiefs-Bengals AFC Championship game, you're walking away with lots of Ruth's Chris dinners. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So let's get a little more specific with our wager, and let's maximize that profit. Let's build our bankroll here.
A little more micro.
Just hoping. Exactly. Instead of just hoping we get someone to the Super Bowl and then thinking about a cash out, having a hedge opportunity. Yeah. We're not gardeners. Let's win some bets.
That's actually, that's not a terrible. It's a really good point. If you're gonna do that sort of bet, I would almost rather say KC or Cincy to be the AFC Championship winner. I do like that. That's smart. That's why we have Sam Yarnell as part of the show now. We're sitting here looking at Super Bowl winners. It's easier to pick an AFC Championship winner than it is a Super Bowl winner, especially if you got two teams you feel so passionate about. Final hour is right around the corner. Worst human beings ever to play in the NFL. We'll tell you next.
We're throwing up the threes for hour 3.
Instead of fourth quarter.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like that. What'd you say, Charles?
Exactly.
Definitely the segment on first quarterback to be replaced. And definitely the wacky weed segment. I grab a drink.
Oh, man.
Yes. Sorry. Let everybody know that was by accident. Oh boy. Oh boy.
No way this is real. Did you see the guy? Oh.
What was that?
Did you see the guy in Norfolk, Nebraska who
No.
was pulled over with a Watusi bull in his passenger seat?
A bull?
Dude, like a bull.
That's great. OMG.
Yeah, like he's got a bull in the passenger seat of that car.
How did it
Isn't
not
that
just
wild?
weigh down the car even?
No, look at the car leaning. You can
Yeah,
see
it
it.
is listing. Of course, he's driving some old Crown Vic.
Crazy, man.
Only in Nebraska. Here we go. Final hour of a Wednesday/Thursday edition of the show. I'm the one and only Jason Page. God for that. Flanked by producer, engineer extraordinaire, the Charles Carter in Houston. And the Prince of Picks, Sam Yarnell. 2 hours in the books, one more to play with here. Coming up in 30 minutes, the 2 for 1. Our NFL guest tonight is one and only Matt Verderame, SI.com senior. Not senior. Why do I keep calling him senior? Gosh dang it.
That's twice.
I know. I'm an idiot. Because I'm used to, because we had Jason Cole last night, and he's the senior NFL writer at Outkick. SI NFL insider, Matt Verderame, who got to travel around, do the training camp stuff. See, I couldn't be that life. I couldn't do that thing, especially now at 45. If you told me I had to have a job where I had to go to like team to team, city to city, no way. The only way I would do that is if I was doing play-by-play. If you told me, here's how passionate I am about play-by-play. If you told me tomorrow, Jason, the next 25 years of your life could be spent doing play-by-play for the Marlins or the Kansas City Royals. Give me bad teams in baseball. The Pirates.
The Athletics.
The A's. I don't care. I would walk my stuff to that city and do that for the rest of my life. Play-by-play for baseball was the dream job. I did AA ball. I did Independent League, the Atlantic League. Did professional football, the UFL, college football, college basketball. Baseball play-by-play is still the greatest thing ever. I would drop everything tomorrow. I'd be like, Sam, it's all yours, baby. That's the only way I would take a job where I'd have to travel that much. You know, that'd be the only way I could do it. I'd probably be divorced in about 6 months, though. Because I don't think my husband would deal well with the idea of me being on the roads, 6 months a year?
Yeah. It's a tough job. I mean, I'm young enough that I love traveling still, and I feel like I could do it.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be pretty fun, but yeah, no, I think Verderame's got a great gig. He gets to drive around and watch football. He probably gets to fly, honestly.
Oh, of course he flies. He ain't driving.
Yeah. SI probably flies him everywhere. So, yeah.
It's not bad. No, it's not a bad gig.
That'd be sick, man.
Got to have I'm telling you, here's the thing. This is the dirty little secret about sports media. Sam, you're just getting used to working with me, but I tell a lot of these stories about like the realities of working in media versus what people think working in media. Everybody thinks, oh, you get to talk about sports for a living. You have the greatest job and you must make tons of money. I made 6 figures once in my life in radio. Once. And it was when I worked for NBC Sports Radio. The industry doesn't pay what it used to pay. 15, 20 years ago, it used to pay tons. Big markets, syndicated radio, that sort of thing. Even play-by-play jobs don't pay what they used to pay. You know, there's just, it's a different world we live in terms of media. If you're doing media today, you're doing it because you love it. Because you see people on ESPN, and yeah, the people at ESPN hosting SportsCenter regularly, the regulars that have been around for a while, those people are making money. There's a lot of people that work at ESPN that don't make a lot of money. There's a lot of people that work at these other sports networks. There's a zillion sports networks now. Not everybody makes a lot of money. Here's what I will say, and I'll leave it on this. The one thing you have to work in sports media, and this is the truth, unless you're single, you're young and single, like Sam, is a supportive spouse that makes good money and has the stable job. They're a school teacher, they're a nurse, they're a doctor, whatever. They're a lawyer. And that's the one thing for me. I'm lucky. I've been lucky enough to be with somebody for 12 years that is very supportive and makes a good living. Otherwise, I'd be screwed. It's not sad. I don't have a successful company or any of that stuff, but it's hard. It's tough to make money in sports media today. It's not like it used to be. The 24 worst human beings to ever play in the NFL. A story I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. Wealthofgeeks.com has it. How many can you guess? Well, see, the problem is I sent both of you guys the stories, so you've already looked at it. Charles will be like, I didn't look, and then he'll start naming everybody on the list. If I know Charles, that's what he would do. Number 24, Greg Hardy. That dude was troubled. That dude was troubled. 23, Bill Romanowski. I've interviewed Romanowski a bunch of times. He's quite the character. He is the king of the chin dial, by the way. Can't tell you how many times I've interviewed Jim Romanowski. And this is back in the days when people used to like have a phone or whatever, and he would bump his chin on the number, and you'd always hear a number getting pressed on the phone at least once per interview in a Jim Romanowski interview. Bill Romanowski. Jim Brown is number 22. How does Jim Brown make the list?
I believe he had some encounters with some women.
Women, yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought
questionable.
Too. Yeah. I think you're right about that. Number 21, Jeremy Stevens. Anybody? Jeremy Stevens? Redskins, I believe. Well, it was Redskins.
Sure. Go ahead.
Sure. Number 20 on the list. Why is my computer so slow tonight? Let's see. Number 18 is Alonzo Spellman. I'm going out of order because my computer is failing me. Number 19 is Antonio Brown. I would think he'd be higher on the list.
Yeah.
That dude's been nonstop trouble for like half a decade, really.
Keep going through it, and I'll give you my big general takeaway at the
Number
end.
20, Cecil Collins.
There are some people they left off the list, too.
Okay. Number, let's see here. Michael Vick. Number 16, Michael Vick. Really? Really, Charles? You're going to say, nah? The dude killed dogs. He electrocuted dogs. You don't need to watch the documentary. Everybody knows the story of Michael Vick. He went to jail for it. Oh, yeah, he killed them, too. Yeah. Lawrence Phillips, number 17. It's a pretty easy one. He was troubled right out of college. Number 15, Darrell Henley. Number 14 is Leonard Little. Number 13, Darren Sharper.
I was surprised by that one.
Serial predator.
No, I know. No. Yeah.
You were shocked by it happened. I got you.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
Unlucky 13 was Sharper. Number 14 is Gene Atkins. Saints safety. 20 criminal counts.
Henry Ruggs coming in at 11.
Let's see. 11 is Henry Ruggs. You kill somebody with your car. That'll do. I think they said 4 years he's getting for that.
I think it's more than that.
Is it? I thought it was 4.
I'll check on it.
I thought it was 4 years. Like I looked at it and I was like, dude, he gets out. He might be young enough to play again.
3 to 10.
3 to 10. So good behavior. Grease the guards there. You know. Barrett Robbins. Oh yeah. That was a bad dude. Dave Meggett. I forgot about Dave Meggett. Yeah, he was great with the Giants. Look at that Meggett run. Tommy Kane is number 8. Former Seahawks receiver. Pled guilty to taking his estranged wife's life in front of his mother. Yeah, that'll get you on the list every time. Robert Rozier. Several felonious crimes. Number 6. We're starting to get to the good ones now. Thomas Hollywood Henderson.
That's a crazy one.
Yeah. Allegations involve forcing a paraplegic minor to conduct acts against her will while issuing credible threats to her life. We'll leave that one there. Marinate in that for a moment. Kellen Winslow Jr. It's a good one. Convicted sex offender. We'll save the last 4 for the other side because I guarantee you the next 4, you'll know all of them. And there's some debate about this top 4, I have to say. Also, Sam's got some betting information you can use on the other side. It's the cash-in. Oh, why? Was your version of that website giving you problems too?
No.
Sam? Because mine was being really stupid. Yeah, the list was coming up all weird. We could debate the top 4.
Yeah, and I got three guys off
that aren't on the list
that are just completely left off.
Really?
Yeah. I got to plug in my watch.
You got a what?
I wear an Apple Watch,
Yeah.
so every night I have to charge it before I go to bed so it tracks my sleep.
Oh, nice. Why, are you a snorer or something? You don't sleep well?
Oh, no, I sleep horribly, dude. Like, I'll sleep for probably 2 hours at a time and then wake up for a few minutes. It's awful. It's
yeah,
horrible.
That's not good. That shit'll kill you.
And I have terrible anxiety, so, like, if I have something to do the next day, I just won't sleep. Well, I mean, I will, but I'll sleep completely restlessly for the whole night.
Wow, if you don't think wrestling's real. Xavier Woods suffered a cervical strain after getting hit by a chair thrown by Drew McIntyre on Monday night. Nice.
Whenever I hear about people getting hit by chairs now, I just think about that boat brawl.
The what?
That boat brawl that went viral.
Oh my God!
week or
Yes,
2
yes,
weeks
yes,
ago.
yes, yes, yes. I saw it. Yes. My brother used to work with Aaron Hernandez's brother.
No way.
Yeah.
The one who just went crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shoot.
Yep. That shocked me. His brother being messed up, that shocked me. I had no idea. All right, come back.
The wins, the losses.
Good to have you along for the ride tonight. SportsMap Radio. SportsMap Radio app. All right, we got 4 names left. 24 worst human beings to ever play in the NFL, as compiled by wealthofgeeks.com. Number 4, Ray Lewis. Where's the blood-soaked suit, Ray? Gotta ask. I mean, that he really is the embodiment of not guilty being anything close to innocent. I think I know one of the names you're thinking of, by the way, because Sam's mad there's some names missing from this list. I think I know one of your names. We'll see if I can guess. Number three is OJ. Now that's the first one where you could be like, really? OJ's not number one?
Did not fit. You must acquit.
Johnny Cochran, man. That dude is the attorney in heaven that everybody wants. That's the attorney. If you're in trouble in heaven, you're calling Johnny now, because if Johnny can get OJ off, he can get anybody off.
OJ didn't do it.
I remember every minute of that trial. Remember that trial like it was yesterday. And what was it, AMC or what's the network that does the like real crime drama, the series?
HBO?
No, it wasn't an HBO one. But they did one for OJ, and they did such a good job on it. Number 3 was OJ. Number 2, Aaron Hernandez. And obviously what he did was heinous. I wouldn't have a problem with him being 2 or 3. And number 1, it's hard to disagree with number 1. I mean, I could put OJ 1, but Ray Caruth, and if you don't know the story of Ray Caruth, the former Carolina Panthers receiver, was pretty good. Yeah, it's a terrible story. Killed his, hired a hitman to murder his beautiful real estate agent. I don't know, was his wife or girlfriend? Not sure if it was his wife or his girlfriend, but it was the mother of his then unborn child, who wound up surviving even though she didn't, and wound up, because he was deprived of oxygen and all that stuff, and it was, has extensive brain damage. Chancellor Lee Adams is his son. And Ray Caruth actually got out of jail after all of that. He didn't have to serve life. Got 24 years and 4 months in prison. I don't know if he ever got to meet his son or not. I'm not sure if he ever met him. I know the son didn't want anything really to do with him, but terrible. All right, who was missing from the list, Sam?
All right, so, well, first of all, based on when you said you were going to guess one of the players, I want to hear what your guess was.
Jamal Lewis?
No. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. No, so the one that I thought that you were going to get, because you guessed it during the Ray Lewis debacle.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to guess Ray Rice.
Ray
Rice could have made the list somewhere. If it's not, the late teens at the very least. Another guy who I'm not sure is a lock to be on this list, but I would probably put him on there, even though I'm a Bills fan. Richie Incognito.
Oh my God.
Pretty messed up stuff.
Woo!
That was his teammates, right? And, I know that it's a little bit different than the kind of guys that we're talking about on
trouble
this
with
list.
the law.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I would still, I think that qualifies you as a bad human, right? I'd put him on the list. And, last but not least, kind of the most obvious one I thought would at least check in at number 15, Deshaun Watson.
Oh my God. Yes.
Those are three names that I just thought, obviously, I'm going to see Ray Rice on here somewhere. I'm going to see Richie Incognito on here somewhere. I'm going to see Deshaun Watson on here. Go through the list and none of them are. It was just a little surprising to me. Those are
Deshaun Watson.
During my time, those are 3 of the worst human beings that have played in the league.
Yeah, I feel like I missed the boat on Deshaun Watson. All right.
And now the Cash In presents, it's Cash Cow, the Prince of Picks, Sam Yarnell.
All right, you got about 5 minutes here, Sam. Have at it.
Well, I hope everybody got in with me while they could on the Los Angeles Dodgers minus the 4.5 live over the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're currently leading 7-0, headed to the bottom of the 7th, laying 7.5 live. So we're feeling good about that one. We usually take the segment here in hour 3 to go over the board for tomorrow. Light board in baseball tomorrow. Just 3 games: Yankees, Tigers, Marlins.
Is that a day game? Yankees, Tigers, a day game?
It is 1:11 p.m.
I get a 10 a.m. game tomorrow morning. Yes.
Bagels and baseball for old JP. Nothing better.
Venmoing you some money to put in a bet for me on that game. Bagels and baseball.
And then the late night game is the big one tomorrow. We got the Braves at Chavez Ravine taking on the Dodgers. Spencer Strider, Lance Lynn, 2 complete opposite trajectories this season for starting pitchers at least. And this is an interesting line here, and I think that we may find an opportunity to potentially make a profit on this game. Braves currently laying the 1.5, plus 126. Dodgers plus 114 on the money line. Braves minus 134 on the money line. Total at 8.5. Juice to the under. Don't know if I want to lay the juice on that under with both of these high-powered offenses. But if you're giving me the Dodgers at plus money right now, coming off their sweep of the Diamondbacks, staying at home, more home cooking for LA. I know the Braves are probably the best team in the National League right now, and they'll probably represent the National League in the World Series, but aren't the Dodgers number 2? If you're going to give me plus money on them, and it's not going to be a pick 'em, Lance Lynn has been one of the hotter pitchers in Major League Baseball since he moved out to LA. I love the Dodgers on the money line tomorrow night, Jason, and I can't wait to talk about the game live on the air with you.
Brian in Wisconsin, by the way, texting the show from the 920. Says, how does Deshaun Watson stay off that list? Kudos to you, Brian. On point.
Thank you, Brian.
On point.
Brian.
Yeah. How's Deshaun Watson not on that list? It's a good point.
And you know, yeah, it's so interesting.
Jamal Lewis was cocaine distribution, I believe, that got him in trouble. If I'm not mistaken. Travis Henry, I think, had some issues, too. It's another one I didn't think of. But Travis Henry is another guy you could talk about. Coming up in 7 minutes, by the way, we'll be joined by our 2-for-1 guest tonight. That would be the great Matt Verderam, SI.com NFL insider. See, I didn't attach the senior to it this time. Says you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So is everything final in baseball now?
No, we're sweating out this Dodgers Diamondbacks game, Jason. We're going bottom 7. Dodgers up 7.
You're not sweating anything. It's 7-0. And Arizona's got 4 hits.
Minus 4.5.
That's a winner.
I trust
the Cash
Dodgers.
it.
Whoa.
Pay that man. Pay that man his money.
Gosh.
Like Teddy KGB says. No. Thank you. Thank you, Charles. On point. It's a winner. You're going to be fine.
Do we go? Okay, but real question, though, because I think there may be an opportunity here. We got 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Diamondbacks, I believe, are making a pitching change here. Live total 8.5, minus 102 to the over. Do we think line just moved minus 104 to the over on 8.5 now? Do we think the Dodgers can plate 2 more runs? And the line just moved plus 122. Might have to get in here. Bottom of the 7th. I think the Dodgers can plate 2 more runs. Plus 116. We're pulling the trigger.
Order? No, be careful.
Nope, we're pulling
Don't
it. We're
do
pulling
it.
the trigger.
Don't.
I trust.
Wait, you got bases loaded, 2 outs.
No. Nobody on. 2 outs. Bottom 7.
Oh, never mind. Mine just updated. Sorry, I was looking at old information here. So Dodgers up 7-0 on the Diamondbacks.
And we need 2 runs in what will basically be an inning and a half.
And Dodgers have the whole top of the order coming up.
And I like the spot more because with that total 8.5, getting plus money on it, you can still win with the Dodgers minus 4.5. I love it.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a little bit of a free roll there. It's not a bad bet. All right, some NFL on the other side. Matt Verderam's been traveling around training camps. SI.com insider for the NFL joins us next on the Cash In, SportsMap Radio. Did I get a hate tweet from somebody?
No.
Is this real? Oh, I might have. Yeah, somebody may have attacked my let's see. Is this? Somebody emailed me through my company website and said, all of your opinions stem from you being gay. Think about that. What a miserable existence. Wow. It's a new one.
It's so okay.
You know what? Here's the scarier part of that. And I'm not saying this to like put out my chest. I've probably had more sex with women than the person that texted me that. No, seriously. Seriously. I've probably had more sex with women than the person who actually texted me that. That's the scary part about that text. It's interesting. And he sent it via secure email. Yeah. 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 Right. Oh, I gotta get the email, the interview up here. Movies. So during this interview, Sam, I will not be able to communicate with you down this line. So if you need to hit me, just text me.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and mute myself then.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good question. I'll tell you in about 5 seconds. Good to be hanging out with you on this Wednesday edition of the show. Normal rejoin's fine. Let's talk some NFL as promised. Matt Verderam does a great job. SI.com NFL insider hanging out with us on the program. Now, and this is going to be your first actual NFL season with SI. So you gotta be all jazzed up, man.
I hope I can continue to fool them. I've done it through the off season, so they hired me right after the Super Bowl. But yeah, no, it's been great. It's been fun. Did my first training camp tour, which was an awesome experience. I'll be covering the Chiefs and Lions September 7th out at Arrowhead, so I am definitely looking forward to it.
What was it like doing the training camp tour? Good to be hanging out with you on. Good to be hanging out with you on this Wednesday edition of the show. Let's talk some NFL as promised. Matt Verderam does a great job. SI.com NFL insider hanging out with us on the program. Now, and this is going to be your first actual NFL season with SI. So you gotta be all jazzed up, man.
I hope I can continue to fool them. I've done it through the off season, so they hired me right after the Super Bowl. But yeah, no, it's it's been great. It's been fun. Did my first training camp tour, which was an awesome experience. I'll be covering the Chiefs and Lions September 7th out at Arrowhead, so I am definitely looking forward to it.
What was it like doing the training camp tour? What was your big takeaway after doing that sort of thing? You were telling me you did 9 teams in like 2 weeks, or 8 or 9 teams in 2 weeks. Give me sort of the feel of, the different teams you went to. Was there a common thread that kind of comes to mind? Just give me what your big takeaway was.
There's a lot of corn in Indiana. That's my big. I'm still dreaming of corn. No, listen. In all sincerity, yeah. So I saw 9 teams because the Lions and Giants did a joint practice. So I was at 8 camps, saw 9. So the whole NFC North. I did kind of a Midwest tour. Look, I think overall, I think the Colts are going to be bad, but I think Anthony Richardson has superstar potential. Watching that kid navigate a pocket, throw the ball, whether it was on regular platform or on the run, I think he's married to the perfect head coach in Shane Steichen, because Steichen worked with Herbert when he was a rookie. He worked with Hurts as a young kid. He knows how to get the best out of these guys. I really do believe they're going to struggle this year, but I think long term that's going to be a really good pairing.
Well, you saw his physical ability. It's hard to get inside somebody's head. If they're really bad, and he's taking a beating because they ain't got no running game, they ain't gonna have Jonathan Taylor there helping him out. You got to feel for him physically. Do you feel like he can absorb the sort of mental punishment and physical punishment that he may absorb and still be able to come through the other side?
Well, mental is hard to say. Physically, he's 6'4" and 250 pounds. There's going to be guys that are hitting him absorbing punishment. I mean, it's like watching George Kittle play quarterback. So, listen, I think he'll be okay there. And I think part of the reason they're playing him is that offensive line's not good. They gave up the second most sacks in football outside of Denver last year. And so I think there is a thought like, look, Richardson can probably negate 20 of those sacks by being mobile and running around. Is that great for his development? I don't know. But I know where the Colts are going with this. I do think Steichen's going to be a good head coach. I just think this year they're going to be bad. But then beyond that, I got to say, look, I think the Lions are going to live up to their hype for the most part. I thought, now the Bengals I'm taking out of this because Burrow wasn't there because he was hurt when I watched them. They're obviously going to be very good. Of the 8 camps I went to, I thought the Lions were the most impressive outside of Kansas City. I thought the Lions, I thought the Lions looked really good. I think they're going to win 10 or 11 games this year. I do worry a little when Jameson Williams is suspended, like who's going to step up as that secondary playmaker on the outside. But I like them, and I love Campbell as a coach. And then I guess the other part of it is the Bears on the flip side in the North. I just don't see that team competing for a playoff spot. I know that they've kind of had a lot of juice. Wow. I love the back seven on defense. Justin Fields, though, like the ball's got to come out faster. It's got to come out faster. And I think he can do it, but I think it's almost some guys the game's too fast for them. I don't think that's it with him. I think he just has to trust what he sees a little bit more. But yeah, I think the Bears will be better, but I think they're like their 7th-win team. I don't think they're going to be a 9, 10, 11 win. I just don't see that big of a jump for them.
Matt Verder, MSI.com NFL Insider, hanging out with us on the show.
Matt, you just talked about the Lions and how high you are on them, and let's keep it in the NFC North with the Lions. In this last segment that we had on the show, I was actually talking about Sam Laporta and how valuable I think he's going to be in fantasy football this year, because I think he's going to get a lot of the target share in that Lions offense. What did you see, or what have you seen out of Laporta through training camp so far in Detroit?
I can tell you he looked very good the day I was there, and I was talking to some people who were there consistently and some people around the team. Look, there's excitement that he's going to be an important part of the offense. They traded T.J. Hawkinson last year to Minnesota. They're trying to replace him. Yeah, look, Laporta, I think you're right. I think it's a pretty good bet. Fantasy football-wise, I think he is somebody who, do I think he's going to go out and have 1,000 yards? No. I mean, most rookie tight ends, they're good for, even if they're really good players, 400 or 500 yards, 600 yards. But I do think he's in a spot like Dalton Kincaid might be the more talented player. That ball's got to go a lot of places in Buffalo. Not the case in Detroit. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be the guy. But after that, okay, Gibbs is going to catch the ball some, Khalif Raymond, Marvin Jones Jr. But yeah, I think Laporta is going to be relied upon fairly heavily for a rookie there in Detroit.
And Matt, you just had an article, I think it came out yesterday, maybe it was 2 days ago, on the Bills and how they're still the beasts of the AFC East. Now, full disclosure, I'm a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, but I need some convincing about this because this is the most nervous I've been since the Josh Allen era really started and the Bills became, serious contenders, that someone else is going to win the division.
So I still think the Bills are the best team in the division because I think Allen is the best quarterback and he's the most durable of them right now. I mean, Rodgers, listen, he usually does play all the games, or at least most of them. Most years he's played all of them. The concern I have with Rodgers is going to be 40, and he's already had calf issues this offseason. It's not great. Tua obviously is a guy you worry about his health. Hopefully he can stay healthy. The Patriots, to me, I think are going to be great defensively. I think they're going to score. So Allen gives them that advantage. Now I will say this: although I do think that the Bills are the best team. I think the Dolphins might win that division, if for no other reason, because they're not going to be playing a first-place schedule. Buffalo is. Miami gets a second-place schedule. The question, of course, that looms very large is Tua. Can he stay on the field? Can he play 15, 16, 17 games? Mike White is their backup, and I'm sorry, but if Mike White's got to play real games, they're losing. Okay, they're not going to survive that if he's got to play for a month.
Well, that was the conversation to me, and that was the conversation to me in San Francisco. Who cares if it's Sam Darnold or Trey Lance? If either of them are starting, they're not winning anyway.
No, well, look, you're preaching to the choir with San Francisco. I think the Niners have maybe the best roster in football outside the quarterback. Here's the problem: quarterback kind of matters in the NFL. I hate that. I always see that. And people are like, they have this great roster. It's just a question of quarterback. That's like saying the movie was great, but the last 20 minutes were awful. Well, who the heck wants to see that? It's a terrible movie. I think the 49ers are a very talented team. I'll give you a hot take. I think Seattle's winning that division.
Wow.
I think the Seahawks are going to win. I think Seattle's flat out better than them.
Whoa.
I think the Seahawks are a better football team. I mean, I'm not down on Brock Purdy, but I just think he's fine. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's going to be exposed.
Yeah, but in the regular season, that's enough to probably get them enough wins to get by Seattle, isn't it?
Maybe, but they have a lot of guys who have injury histories. Is Bosa playing all the games this year? Is Trent Williams is getting older? Is he playing every game this year? Is Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle? A lot of those guys get hurt every year, or to some degree. A couple games or longer, unfortunately, in other cases. I think the Niners are absolutely a playoff team and a very viable threat in the NFC. I think Seattle's really good. I think there's this general thought that Geno Smith's going to turn back into a pumpkin. I got to tell you, if you watched the film last year of Geno Smith, he was slinging it. It wasn't a lot of this bubble screen crap that goes for 80 yards and people go nuts. He threw for 400 yards. Then you watch the film and it's okay, the guy threw 2 slip screens and went for a combined 150 yards. He was wailing the ball downfield. They add Jackson Smith and the Jigba. They add Devon Witherspoon on the back end of their defense. They brought back Bobby Wagner. They bring in Draymond Jones. I got to tell you, they got a lot of talent. I think Seattle is going to be a lot better than people think they're going to be.
I only got 30 seconds. 49ers say Nick Bosa is not going to be traded. Do you believe them?
Yes,
okay.
I do. If they trade Nick Bosa, I'd be stunned. But I also saw there was a quick report out there, I think from Bally Sports, that he's going to play week 1. I'm not saying that report's inaccurate, but I don't know that that's definitely going to happen either. Negotiations are weird. So we'll see. But just like Chris Jones, I worry about, you missed the whole offseason. Are you going to be healthy the whole year? Yeah, that's a big concern for me.
Matt Verderam, check out his work. See, even Sam's reading your stuff. SI.com NFL writer. Thank you, Matt. We'll talk throughout the season, my friend.
You got it. No problem.
Who gets the honor of the last call tonight? You'll have to find out. Also, an update on Wander Franco's situation, and it's not a good one. It's next on the Cash In. Man, do you know a host that hits posts better than I do? Like, seriously. Is there a host that times out the back time music better than me? I mean, let's be honest, Charles. Let's have a moment here. No, there's nobody even fucking... It's nobody even close. There's just nobody even close. It's hard work being this fucking good. Let's see. What's the last call? What do you think, Sam? What's the last call tonight? Let me see. Oh, the Mets walk-off.
Oh, right. The Aroldis Chapman blowing up.
Yeah, it's got to be
by
the
way,
walk-off.
I copied the link to the wrong tweet. I meant to send you the tweet about Jonathan Taylor, the Colts wanting Jalen Waddle from the Dolphins. Did you see that?
The Jets wanting... Say this again. The Jets...
No. The Colts wanted Jonathan Taylor, wanted Jalen Waddle for Jonathan Taylor.
Well, supposedly Green Bay wanted him too. Wanted to do a deal for Taylor. But I don't know what the particulars were.
Crazy, man. I don't get why they think they can get so much for him.
Yeah, but if somebody gets hurt, they might get even more. If somebody loses a stud running back, I mean, look, if you were the 49ers and McCaffrey got hurt or something, you're not making a call?
Honestly, so in the thick of it, no, because Elijah Mitchell can produce enough.
Yeah, that's true.
But
somebody might.
I think the Bills should.
All right, so the Mets get the last call tonight. Let's see. Let me get the final call.
Do their radio. I hate their TV crew.
Yeah, I know, but it's the TV. I actually think their TV crew is really good. I don't like them.
Everyone does.
It's not, and there's a reason. They're good. They're good. And I'm not even a Mets fan. Hold on one second. Oh, it's a hit by pitch. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's why Aroldis Chapman blew up with no
Jay Stewart
will
get a chance to put an end to this game. DJ's stamp has been all over the...
Oh, that's great. That's so awesome. Oh, he did have a 2-run home run to tie the game, too. DJ Stewart had himself a day.
Yeah, I saw a joke that was the Mets are going to retire his number now.
I might give him 2 highlights just because the hit by pitch only. I kind of feel bad, so I'll give him the hit. I'll play the 2-run home run, and then I'll do the 2-run home run, and then I'll do the hit by pitch.
Where do you get them off? Twitter? Just on your phone?
MLB app. It's perfect. It's so easy.
Ads?
No. There we go. Getting set to put the wraps on this baby. Last call coming up in 8 minutes. Get your drinks now. It's almost time. Do you know where we're going for last call tonight? That's the question. Now, if you were watching the video feed of the show, which you can watch every night on Twitch, Jason Page 77, on X, formerly known as Twitter, or just watch us on X, That would probably be a lot more entertaining. Not that I'm encouraging that kind of behavior. On X, formerly known as Twitter, at the back page. On Facebook or YouTube, just search for The Cash In with Jason Page. Simple as that. All right. We'll get to last call coming up in a couple of minutes. There is news regarding Wander Franco. It is not good news. The deeper this story gets, the more you become convinced we have seen the last of Wander. It is, I mean, I keep saying this because it is so stunning. But just stop and take a step back for a second and think about the gravity of this. Now, I had Bob Nightingale on the show last week, I think. And Nightingale said that it was interesting to him that he was hearing nothing about it around baseball. Like he was talking to people in different circles, and everybody's just very quiet about it. Whether it's because it's the Rays, so it doesn't mean as much, or there's still not enough information and people are just keeping their powder dry, that sort of thing. But just stop and think about it. This is one of the biggest, brightest young stars of the game. Again, I know he plays in a crap market where people don't go to the games. But they just gave him this 10-year, $180 million deal, whatever it is. And it is hard to fathom that we may never see a 22-year-old Wander Franco in a Major League Baseball game again. Like gone, like just erased, career over before it started. And not because of injuries or just something that nobody had on their bingo card. Nobody had on their radar. A special prosecutor in the Dominican Republic is now, according to Jeff Passan of ESPN, investigating a second formal complaint that Franco engaged in a relationship with a minor. So now you're talking about serial behavior, if that's what we're talking about here. This would be the latest of 3 accusations against Franco, who again is only 22 years old. First complaint filed July 17th. Another girl alleged to the specialized prosecutor's office for boys, girls, and adolescents that she had a relationship with Franco as a minor. Third girl hasn't spoken to authorities yet, but they're still investigating her relationship with him. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Major League Baseball won't even start its investigation until the Dominican Republic finishes theirs, and that is months away. So forget this year. That's gone. What do you even do if you're let's say he's not in play for next year because this is still being investigated. Let's just say. He hasn't even gone to the Dominican Republic, by the way, to be interviewed by prosecutors. That's going to be a whole nother thing. But what do you even do if you're Franco next year? You're just not playing baseball? You're just hanging out?
You move to the Maldives, a non-extradition country, and live your life with $180 million that you were guaranteed by the Tampa Bay Rays.
There's no way he's ever getting that money. He's not going to see that money.
No, but I'm sure that he's already got a chunk of it.
Yeah, he's probably got a chunk of it.
Enough for generational wealth, Jason.
Here's the reason I don't know if that's true, because hold on one second. Wander Franco on Spotrac. If you go look up Spotrac, I wonder if the new salary's even kicked in yet. No, it hasn't. Forget. No. You, sir, are wrong.
He signed with a $5 million signing bonus.
But that's after you pay an agent. Half of that's gone in taxes. That's not. He's 22 years old. He's going to spend the rest of his life on that. I mean, is the reality is, in this year, his base salary is $1 million. He gets $454,000 of the signing bonus is paid incrementally every year based on being on the team.
His base salary this year's $2 million.
2023, yes, $2 million. Last year it was $1 million. This year it's $2 million.
Right.
But the big contract doesn't kick in until 2025, 2026. I mean, dude, you're right. Oh my God, it's a nightmare. Boy, it sucks to be the agent too, doesn't it? You roped in the big one.
this is what gets interesting about the technicality, because I know that he's made a portion of that $2 million that's his base salary this year, and placing him on the restricted list meant that he stopped earning that. And
this list that he's on now, not the one that he was on for like 7 days. You're saying what he's on now.
The restricted list where he currently is means that he's salary exempt, so he doesn't collect a game check. The Rays don't have to pay him whatever the division of 162 by or 2 million.
There's going to be lawsuits. Let me tell you something. There'll be lawsuits filed for him to get some of that. Forever. Yeah, until the thing is, until charges are filed or he's in jail, he's going to say he's entitled. So there's a conviction or something like that, he's going to say he's entitled to some of this money. They're going to have to pay up some of it.
But he'll still be comfortable. His yearly cash last year was $6 million. He'll still probably walk away with about $2 million when everything's said and done, after incentives and a yearly signing bonus.
Divorce is expensive. Hey, Sam, divorce is expensive. His current wife, you think she's hanging around? Divorce ain't cheap, man.
Does he have a wife?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That is something I did not realize through this entire.
This is such a spit show, man. This is so bad on so many levels.
Yeah.
Oh, no my God. It's so bad. I said this last week on the show, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't think I've ever said it to you. 20 years from now, if the Rays are somewhere other than St. Pete, Montreal, I don't know, Charlotte, Portland, when they do the 30 for 30 on the Rays leaving, this will be one of the big dominoes that caused it, was losing Wander Franco. I mean, that is so terrible for that franchise. And you can talk about the prospects in the pipeline and all that stuff, and all that's great. But he was such a cornerstone of the future of this franchise. It's just as bad as it could get for that team. All right, it's about that time.
It's about that time of the night.
Yeah.
Time to turn out the lights. It's last call on the cash-in.
All right. The Mets haven't had much to cheer about this year. Let's give them something. Last call tonight is the implosion of one Aroldis Chapman. First of all, have yourself a night, DJ Stewart. Forget the game winner that he had in this game. Mets down 2 and DJ Stewart playing the role of hero.
One out and one on now. DJ Stewart, who homered right behind Vogelbach in the second to give the Mets the 2-0 lead. They were up 3-0 before the Rangers rallied. There's another one to right field, headed toward the stands. It's out of here. DJ Stewart ties the game with his second home run of the night. How hot is he? DJ Stewart just keeps on hitting the long balls. And it's 5-5 in the 8th inning.
Gary Cohen, the call, SNY, the favorite play-by-play guy of one Sam Yarnell. Let's finish it off in style. DJ Stewart is at the plate in the 9th or 10th. I don't know. It's 5-5. Aroldis Chapman is on the mound, and you could probably guess what wound up happening.
DJ Stewart will get a chance to put an end to this game. DJ's stamp has been all over this night, and now a chance to win it in the 10th. Infield is in, the outfield is in. And Stewart is hit by the pitch, and the Mets win it! How about that? 4th RBI of the night for Stewart as he gets plunked by Chapman to bring in McNeil with the winning run. DJ Stewart, the hero of heroes.
Chapman threw the pitch and posed like it was going to be strike 3. That's the best part of that whole thing. And he plunked the guy. DJ Stewart gets the last call on the cash-in tonight. It's going to do it for us. Thank you, Matt Verderam. Great job as always, SI.com NFL Insider. Charles Carter, producer, engineer extraordinaire in Houston. Sam Yarnell, the Prince of Picks. Night number 2. We enjoyed it, sir. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the cash-in on SportsMap Radio. I'm Jason Page. Bye! Good shit, dude.
Good stuff, Charles. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.
Great show, Jason.
Thanks, man. I will catch you tomorrow.
Yes,
All right.
sir. Wait, did the Dodgers win this game?
Let me turn off. Hold on one second.
Yeah,
let me just
they
kill.
did.
Hold on. Stay
7-0.
there. Stay there, Sam. Just let me kill the.
Cover.
It's over?
Yep.
I gotta kill the feed here.
Meet me at the window.
You had a good day today, then, didn't you? You did all right.
2 for 2. Wasn't very active. Light board.
bounce
Didn't
back.
love the board.
What are the Yankees tomorrow? What's the line on the Yankees? For the 4-game sweep. The rare 4-game sweep.
Minus 126.
They're what?
Minus 126.
That's it? Who's pitching?
I think it was Clark Schmidt.
And he's actually pitched
Clark
pretty
Schmidt
well.
against, it's Matt Manning for the Tigers.
Yankees are starting to swing the bats, though.
Dude.
Hey. Rome wasn't built in a day. Hold on. Let me say goodbye to the video audience. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all tomorrow.